Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga? Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga?
Appreciate that, brother. Against all odds. Ooh, my boy Shadow said against all odds better than both of them. That interesting right there. So everybody get started in a minute, y'all. Y'all just tuned in. We tuned in. Doing the recap of Ice Cube and Tupac with my new subscribers who haven't been here in my streams and shit. So I'm just doing a recap of it. Shout out my boy Shadow. Get shout out.
Give me another one.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
Yeah, he just to the country. But you real for real.
Another one. Another one.
I'm about to get started in 3 minutes, y'all. Put my phone on charge. Wait till everybody get up in here. I'll try to screen horizontal, bro. I was like, fuck that shit, bro. That shit don't work for my channel. I'm trying to make the layout and shit like bigger for y'all and shit.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
Yo, what's up, Ashron? How you doing, bro? What's up, twin? Goddamn twin, that motherfucker. What's going on, twin? Bro, I don't like being up here, bro. I don't like this shit. Like I'm looking at the ceiling and shit. Hell nah. Myself in the middle or some shit. I might just put myself right here. Damn, I ain't got nobody. I got a head but nobody. Oh, hell nah. The fuck, man? The fuck, I'm supposed to be a phantom ghost or something? Danny Phantom? Y'all don't make fun of my shit.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
Yeah, bro. Shit, what we doing tomorrow, twin? We doing Dead by Daylight tomorrow? What going on? Let me know something. I'm find my lighter, bro. Where's my lighter at? Did I stream? I think I did stream yesterday. I probably been streaming like back to back for y'all, man. But I be goddamn, my goddamn 9 to 5, they be whooping my ass, bro. I be tired of here. I be like, man, fuck this shit. I be like, damn, bro, I'm treating my people wrong, bro. I be tired, y'all. But I do this weekend, you know what I'm saying? We got double streams on double streams. Fuck my lighter at, bro. I know she ain't take my damn lighter. I'm find my lighter real quick, y'all. Oh, hell nah, twin. But it be your own kind, still light and shit, bro. Who else really got this shit from my ass? I appreciate y'all. We close to getting 6K subscribers, bro. I appreciate it. We almost done. That my next goal is to get 6,000 subscribers. Bro. What the fuck is my name lighter? I'm about to get pissed off already. I ain't got no lighter. I ain't got no Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I found it. Bet. They do it. I don't know about this not have no damn body though. I might have to fuck this shit. Take this shit off. Alright, bet. Nigga, I still ain't. Nigga, do I gotta take my shirt off? Nigga, gotta take his shirt off. This shit blend in with my goddamn shirt. Goddamn. Go to work, Jim. You got to take vitamins. What you mean by vitamins? Hey, Travis, how you doing? I be doing all 3, bro. I be streaming, then going to the gym, then work my 9 to 5 and shit. I had to be tired as hell. You said nuggets. What you mean by nuggets, bro? Nah, my damn picture get way over there. I know you fucking lying. Alright. Bet. Alright. We good. We thugging night. Yeah, I doing night though. Shout out to the 25 people. Let me make sure we good on Twitter and everything up. Man, Facebook be hating though. They don't even want me to stream on Facebook, bro.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
What kind of vitamins you be taking though? Put me on, twin. Don't be stingy now. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 of these. Hold on, now. Why I got 2 of these? You extra energy? Yeah, I be taking it. I used to take I used to use a lot of what it's called, pre-workouts and shit. I've been using one without the stem and shit, if that makes sense. Okay, we good on Twitter. Alright, bet we live on Twitter. Bet we good, y'all. We about to start. Open chat.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug life, nigga?
So you worked 2 jobs for a long time? Shit. I think I work 3. I go to the gym in the morning, then I go to my job, then I stream with y'all. It big in my life right there. In my life right there. Ain't that smoke. You ain't never seen a healthy goddamn, a non-healthy motherfucker like me. Biotin? I ain't never tried it. I'm gonna take it. Appreciate that. From 63rd, shout out 63rd.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
I don't met a lot of y'all motherfuckers. I met a lot of LA motherfuckers. I met a lot of New York motherfuckers in here. Oh, damn it, y'all just everywhere, ain't you? Just be thugging everywhere, huh? You know, I appreciate it. The streets calling. You know what I'm saying? Future voice. Alright, I'm gonna check my Twitch. Then boom, we gonna start. But tell me y'all favorite diss song though. This song, all time favorite diss song.
Ready for Coachella?
Oh shit, now. Yeah. I bet we good. We should. I think we good on Twitch. Twitch be low key hating on me, bro. I don't know what they be going on, twin. Every time I get talk about Tupac on my shit, they be trying to stop my whole stream. I have like an hour long stream. They don't even do my full stream.
What type niggas a thug life, nigga?
You say you know from New York? Y'all from New York? Where y'all from? Where everybody from? I want to go to New York, but they say y'all too violent though. I don't know about New York. Y'all like to hide knives and shit. Hell nah, twin.
The day with the best diss record.
Who's number 1, man?
Tupac hit him up.
Come on, man.
Number 1 hater.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh hell, what the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
That nigga said, goddamn, not Tupac.
Nah, man. Sorry.
First off, touch your chick and the click you claim. Westside, when we rock, I'm equipped with game.
He dropped it called Badass. And if you listen to it, you can see her hit him up. It was like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
Bow down. Cause I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a killer that's greater than you.
I bow down respectfully, not bow down to them as mean or as performers, but as elders.
If you touch the nerve, he'll let you know. And, you know, he was passionate. You know, so he'll let you know.
All you old rappers trying to advance, it's all over now. Take it like a man. The Westside Connect thugs. Ain't no California love, just California slug.
I'm I seen an interview with like Biggie and May set up Diddy and May set up Biggie. We're gonna tune that one in. I'm up. It's the weekend, baby. We up, baby.
Tupac versus Ice Cube. A beef that the majority of hip-hop heads didn't know existed. 2 West Coast icons that became friends in the early stages of their solo careers, but grew apart on their way to the top and eventually clashed due to a misunderstanding. The first time the two met was on tour in 1990, when Tupac was a part of the group Digital Underground. He was a huge fan of Ice Cube.
I like not. It's not about. No, I'm gonna say not. What not about nature is? Where they from? I mean, Ghetto Boys. What Ghetto Boys from? I mean, if I say East Coast, I gotta say Tupac though. Tupac is from the East Coast though. I'm just a pop fan. From the even 90s, I'm going with pop, bro. Hands down.
And great friends. Pac was very humble, and Cube was very respectful. Treated him like a little brother.
Now, you know,
for Cube, he was just a fun little dude with a lot of energy.
Nobody had more fun on tour than Pac. He knocking on everybody's door.
On Hennessy.
You sleep? What? Nah, no sleep. No sleep. Nah, come on, man. Get dressed, Q. Come on, let's go downstairs. You know, he running around with all the energy in the world. You know, we sleep, but he got all the energy in the world.
They hung out, rapped on tours, and freestyled together. Cube was able to watch him grow as an artist. He was rapping and dancing on stage with Digital Underground. Nobody knew who Tupac was. He was just getting started. Pac used to tell him, "This digital ish is cool, man, but I want to do records like y'all. Cause where I live at, ish is effed up." You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about how the ish is. He wanted to stop making those funny little dance songs with his group and focus on more important stuff.
I remember him being a little frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, Cube, I want to make the kind of records y'all make. That's what I'm on. I ain't really on this, this dancey stuff. He was just doing that just to, you know, kind of, you know,
get started,
facilitate till he can get and do his own style. So I was like, well, keep doing your thing, you know, Shock G, he'll see, you know, that you got talent and shit in here. Tell him that you need to fulfill yourself as an artist and not just do the, you know, the
party.
Yeah, the party shit. Yeah. And then I started to see him get on more digital records, and I was like, okay, Pac is starting to, you know, move up from just being, you know, in the background to actually, you know what I mean, doing some songs. So he had that in him where he wanted to release it, and to just see him grow as an artist to become, you know, damn near like.
Stop the cap. Nigga, wait till you get all the way old, want to talk positive about Tupac. Yo, ever hating in the 90s, though. You know what I'm saying? You hating in the 90s, we ain't gonna forget that, IQ. We ain't gonna forget that. You know what I'm saying? You say I love both Biggie and Tupac. I like the Biggie till I found out what he did, though. You know what I'm saying? I like his songs though, like One More Chance, shit like that. I like his hit songs, shit. But like as a person, hell no, I don't fuck with Biggie. Like he fuck with Diddy, and what they did Tupac, I don't fuck. I can't fuck with that shit. This me. I don't know about y'all.
The Marvin Gaye of hip hop, like you know,
so true.
It's just an incredible journey to see.
I think I'm due for everybody, all my Biggie fans. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a listening party. Just Biggie. My first time listening party, listen to his album. Back to back. Damn, they got a gun right here. Hold on.
Solo records became a lot more serious and thought-provoking. Cube was a huge.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do a listen party for Biggie. My first time listen to the album, his whole albums, bro. I'm gonna do it for all the Biggie people, cause I always be doing Tupac, so I'm gonna do it for the Biggie people. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on every track.
Inspiration for Tupac, who had a lot of love and admiration for him. No wonder why Pac's music early on in his career had a heavy focus on politics, social issues facing American society, like racism, police brutality, poverty, black-on-black crime, teenage pregnancy, etc. The topics were somewhat similar to what NWA addressed in their music, even though their styles were completely different. Straight Outta Compton was one of Pac's favorite albums, and so was America's Most Wanted, which introduced the world to the female rapper Yo-Yo, who appeared as a guest on the track It's a Man's World. Ice Cube took her under his wing and produced her upcoming album Make Way for the Motherlode, which dropped the following year. Tupac met her with Cube when he was performing with Digital Underground.
The title gonna be I'm gonna say Biggie hater to draw people in. I'm gonna say Biggie hater first time I listen to the album, some shit like that. I'm gonna say some shit like that.
Who appeared as a guest on the track.
Say like Tupac fan first time I listen to Biggie or some shit like that.
It's a Man's World. Ice Cube took her under his wing and produced her upcoming album Make Way for the Motherlode, which dropped the following year. Tupac met her with Cube when he was performing with Digital Underground. Pac and Yo-Yo got very close and even had a relationship in the early 90s. They went on tours together, sometimes with Cube, sometimes without, and Pac was also invited to a birthday party, shortly after the movie Boys in the Hood came out, in which Cube plays the character Darren Baker, aka Doughboy. This was Ice Cube's first movie appearance. At Yo-Yo's birthday party they took pictures together, and she even introduced Pac to her mother. Cube then dropped his sophomore album Death Certificate in 1991. And that same year, Pac released his debut album Tupacalypse Now and starred in the movie Juice, which came out on January 17th, 1992. So they both tried to get their rapping and acting careers going, while Cube was higher in status and more respected in both fields at that point in time. The movie director John Singleton then wanted Ice Cube in his movie Poetic Justice with the pop icon Janet Jackson. Cube.
I used to like Janet Jackson. They said Janet Jackson was fake though. Tupac said Janet Jackson was fake. She changed her number. She changed her number on them and everything. So we don't. Even though I like Miss Janet Jackson, I can't rap. My boy don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, hello.
Pressured him to give him the script to find out what the movie was about and didn't like what he was reading. So he asked him to change it, but he refused. John Singleton then decided to replace Cube with Tupac, cause they needed a rapper who was also acting. There weren't too many options back then. Cube was the more successful actor at the time, but the director was impressed by Tupac's acting skills. The movie was filmed between April 14th and July 4th of 1992 and came out on July 23rd, 1993. It became a cult classic and was a good look on Tupac's resume for his acting career. According to Cube, him stepping down from doing the movie helped Tupac to become a movie star. And the reason why he gave up on that movie was because the director refused to change one particular part in the script. The problem was me playing Tupac. I don't think I'd kick my homeboy off the car for a girl I just met when we got to Oakland. I didn't think that was cool. It kinda made the character a sucker to me. The scene Cube appears to be referring to is the one that saw Tupac's character Lucky, which is a mail carrier and aspiring rapper, attack his friends.
Like he hit that nigga for real.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
Now, if they replace Tupac and Poetic Justice for Ice Cube, can y'all see that? Cause I can't see that shit. Like I don't think the movie hit the same. You know what I'm saying? I did like Ice Cube and Anaconda. What it called? Anaconda? I did like him there with what her name is? I'm about to say Janet Jackson. I mean not Janet Jackson, but damn, I can't remember her name.
For hitting Janet Jackson's character Justice, who kicked Pac's friend in the groin because he had hit his girl in the face. Pac then beats up his homie and kicks him off the vehicle. Cube hated that character just for that scene alone. Said that the role suits Pac more than him, which could be interpreted as a jab, since Cube called.
Oh my god, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I agree with my boy. He said NBA YoungBoy is the new generation Tupac. Hell no, he can't even come close, bro. Hell fuck no. If they compare probably like Pop Wild Side, probably yeah. If you compare them to like his Wild Side, hell yeah. But music wild, hell no, fuck no. I don't even know what he be saying in some song. I'm like, what he be saying? He be goddamn mumbling and shit.
Character Justice, who kicked Pac's friend in the groin because he had hit his girl in the face. Pac then beats up his homie and kicks him off the vehicle. Cube hated that character just for that scene alone. Said that the role suits Pac more than him, which could be interpreted as a jab, since Cube called that character a sucker. Why would you say that the role of a sucker suits Tupac? Pac later called himself Sucker for Love on the song Do For Love, which was recorded in 1994 but came out posthumously. It actually landed on the album Are You Still Down, Remember Me, which dropped on November 25th, 1997. So Pac didn't really care about people like Cube making fun of him for being a quote-unquote sucker for love. The question is, why did Cube say that? Because of Pac's superior adaptation skills? Or maybe something similar to that scene happened where Pac ditched Cube for a girl when they were hanging out. Cause why else would you get that impression from him? Maybe it was about Yo-Yo, or a different girl. Cause Pac started to become very popular with women. so it wouldn't surprise me if something like that had happened in real life. And if you look at the reasons why Cube didn't want to play that role, and
all my people back in the 90s, I got a question for y'all. Even after Tupac died, when they were dropping his albums, was it going #1? I know they dropped one in 2000, I think 2001, 2002. I know they dropped Machiavelli. I know Machiavelli probably went #1, but like albums after that, did it go #1? I want to know. After he died.
Also take a look at all the movies he did afterwards, you start to notice that he had no problem playing in kids, comedy and love movies. Cube has played a lot of roles in his acting career that made him look soft or like a sucker, so to speak. But maybe he was just a little stubborn in the early days and later learned how to adapt to different roles after getting used to acting. Cause it wouldn't make much sense for a guy like Cube, who just started acting, to reject a movie where he gets to play the lover of a superstar like Janet Jackson, who had released multiple classic albums that sold over 10 million copies each, and had another album on the way that went to sell over 14 million units. No one in their right mind would reject that kind of offer. It would have gotten him exactly where he wanted to be in his acting career. But again, maybe Cube felt a little...
Y'all saying NBA Youngboy? Top artist? Everybody agree with this shit? Somebody said Cube been garbage. Facts. Y'all saying NBA Youngboy? They like up there with Tupac? Y'all tripping. That like he better than what? Future? All Eminem? All them motherfuckers. We ain't gonna say Snoop Dogg. We don't like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg? No, we ain't gonna say Snoop Dogg. Hell no.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug life, nigga?
In the studio, I put Tory Lanez before NBA Youngboy. I fuck with that nigga. Y'all fuck with Tory? How old you is, bro? Maybe I gotta start listening to his ass and see what he talking about. But I can't. You gotta give me something I can't understand what he be saying. He got too much auto-tune, man. Like I can't understand what he be saying sometimes. Then I'm older now, so I don't be really liking that too much violent shit. You know what I'm saying? I like older music and shit. I mean, if I was in my young days prime, yeah, I rocked some young NBA young, but it's just like my mindset.
Because the rap world would have judged him based on the movie. The same way rap fans judge you based on your lyrical content, what you say in interviews, and how you appear in music videos and live shows. He might have thought that it could have hurt his gangster image, meaning that people start to believe that the stories he tells in his lyrics are fake, that he's not a gangster, that he lacks authenticity and is only acting. Kinda similar to Ice-T rapping After Police and then later playing the police in TV shows and movies. And Ice Cube was the face of gangster rap in the late 80s and early 90s. And now all of a sudden here comes Pac and gets away with everything. Cube saw how it benefited Pac's rapping and acting career. So he saw it as a missed opportunity and started to regret his decision. John Singleton was also impressed by Pac's acting skills and delivery of emotions. His acting in the movie Juice was perfect. Cube was not on Pac's level when it came to showing vulnerability, emotion, sadness, empathy, affection and love. A love movie with a guy like Cube who feels uncomfortable to show emotions wouldn't work. He had a hard time catching up to Pac when it came to display of emotions in movies and also in music.
It was tempting to work with Janet Jackson, but I wanted to love the movies I was in. You know, I was like, this part is gonna come about, and I'm
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
I don't give a damn the movie was goddamn Tubi movie, but fuck that. Janet Jackson. Shit, I been on movie trying to act with her, you know what I'm saying? Then trying to get with her. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I'm trying to be another Jackson 5. Jackson 7. I've been Jackson 7 in that motherfucker. Yes, sir. See, he ain't know how to play the game, bro. You know what I'm saying? I forgot he was already married, I think.
Just hate this part. I didn't do Poetic Justice, so John went and got Tupac to do it. I'm glad Tupac did it. I think he killed it. It was just cool to see another rapper in the game getting a shot on the big screen.
While filming the movie Poetic Justice from April 14th to July 23rd, 1992, Pac and Cube hung out together on numerous occasions. Tupac also recorded his sophomore album, which includes the song Last Words, featuring Ice Cube and Ice-T. There's footage of them together in the studio, hanging out and freestyling. Cube and Ice-T were sitting and relaxing, while Pac was standing there like a fan almost. Cause he was super humble and saw Cube and Ice-T almost like older brothers. Cause those two were actually the ones that took West Coast hip-hop and gangster rap in general to the next level.
Y'all can Ice-T rap? I never heard Ice-T rap on no song. I just know him from goddamn other rappers mentioning him and goddamn what a Long Order. That's all I know about Ice-T. I don't know too much. And he go Coco. That about it. I don't know too much about. Can he rap? Can Ice-T rap?
Song they did together is extremely underrated and overlooked.
They got up in here. They got who was T Shakur? That Tupac old name? T Shakur? I see it right here. T Shakur. Oh, bitch ass Stretch. I see his name right there. Oh, it's Tupac. It stands for Tupac. True. Okay, bet. Guess who's bad? Oh, they do. Okay, they do got a song together. Last Words with Ice Cube and Ice-T, featuring Tupac. Bobcat. Who fucking Bobcat? Oh, I gotta hear that one then. Last Word with Ice-T and Ice Cube and Tupac. Shit, I gotta hear that one.
They all did a great job lyrically, and Pac was just getting better and better with every album. His friendship with Yo-Yo also turned into a love affair and relationship around that time. They were really close, and there were rumors that Cube had a problem with that. The two appeared together in the music video for Petra's song Romantic Call in 1993. Their love relationship didn't last long as Pac turned more and more into a player. He started dating all of Yo-Yo's female friends. He was very popular with women in general.
Damn, how many girls you got? I can't keep up, man. Damn, that nigga was a gigolo at this damn point. European gigolo. You said what the movie Colors? It's a movie. This motherfucker pulled up a goddamn. Man, police drama starring. Placed in gang neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Ooh, I look at look fun. I ain't never seen it. Who in there? The film takes in the gang neighborhood in Los Angeles in the 1980s. The gang violence between the Bloods and the Crips and the Hispanic street gangs. Oh, they should like be lit right now. Damn, they made an ass of money, boy. Budget 10 million. No, they lost money. They lost money. No, they made their money back. They made 46 million. Said Tupac had all the hoes. You said check it out. Well, I can see it there on Tubi. Well, I can see this shit. Might have to go on my back, on my little, my what's called it. I get the free movies and shit. It's on Tubi. Oh, it is on Tubi. It's on Tubi now. Let me go to Tubi. Oh, ooh, I ain't even play it. No. Oh, no play it, but. Oh yeah, it's on Tubi. Bet I'm watching on Tubi. So I might start doing movie night. For they got them. We watch Friday together, which I be tripping on Friday. I watch movies and shit. Oh shit, I forgot where I was at. There we go. Bet appreciate you telling me that. I'm gonna go watch it after the stream.
Back then, he even put out a song called I Get Around, in which he's bragging about his sexual conquests. So the relationship with Yo-Yo didn't last, and they both decided to go their separate ways. From March 93 to May 94, Pac recorded the group album Thug Life. And then he started to record his next solo project, which was his breakthrough album Me Against the World. On July 14th, 1994, he recorded the song Dear Mama, which is widely regarded as one of his best songs. The original version contained a sample from Ice Cube's song It's a Man's World off his debut album America's Most Wanted, on which he was rapping back and forth with the rapper Yo-Yo. They trade bars and debate the place of women in hip-hop and in the hood. It's an even-handed debate and was definitely a groundbreaking move in the gangster rap scene. Although it didn't necessarily show Cube from his compassionate, caring and tolerant side. He was still playing his gangster role and looked down on women. Kinda like how he wanted the movie Poetic Justice to be. Ice Cube's song wasn't entirely misogynistic. He actually had Yo-Yo on there to go back.
Damn, y'all think the Westside, the gangster shit killed hip hop? Y'all think the Westside, the West Coast killed hip hop? Did it bring more violence to the community and all that? What y'all think?
Back and forth, and to counter all his arguments, he was indirectly uplifting women as well, by giving her a platform, and by making Yo-Yo stand up for all the women and defend them against a gangster like Ice Cube. Tupac used the sample to dedicate an entire song to his mother, while showing love and respect to women in general.
This is a man's world, thank you very much.
I just wrote it down, and it came out like tears, you know. And right after I wrote it, I called my mom and I rapped it to her over the phone like live. She was like crying. I was like, "That's a hit."
Pac used Yo-Yo, who was supposed to be the voice for the women on Ice Cube's track, as a repeated sample next to his own heartfelt and uplifting lyrics, putting as much feeling and emotion into the song as possible. Words that come straight from the heart and paint vivid pictures, thematizing his own insecurities, fears and emotions, even though people labeled him as a cold-blooded thug and gangster, which in most cases is closely related to toxic masculinity, something that people often criticize Cube for.
I'm not keep stopping y'all, but when y'all be talking in chat, I gotta respond. I'm just that type. But I'm saying that for like, you know how they doing women, how they treat our women now, how they explain like for example like black women, like a real black woman be out there, body out, selling them body. You know what I'm saying? That's how they betray women. Women is they OnlyFans and all this. That's because hip hop. Y'all say corporation killed it? What you mean? Give me more on it. Like, what you mean by corporation killed it? I agree with that shit too. So I'm trying to use like the gangster shit image they put in hip hop to how they doing our women now. Like the Cardi B's, the Megan Thee Stallions. They need to bring real women back. You know what I'm saying? We need some real women back. You know what I'm saying? Fully dressed, cold. You know what I'm saying? Bring all my skinny women back. We want some skinny women sometimes. Sometimes thick is it's too much thickness. I'm getting tired of it. You know what I'm saying? The hype. You know what I'm saying? Bring out women. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit. I think it did destroy like relationship wise, like how women supposed to let a man lead and shit. Now women are leading. If that makes sense to y'all.
Saying that he's incapable of expressing love and emotion as he's stuck in his cold, one-dimensional tough guy role. Cube didn't want to be like Tupac and be a sucker for women. Pac, on the other hand, tried to make it okay for tough macho men to show themselves from their sensitive side and be a little mama's boy, so to speak, while simultaneously being a real man. And Cube didn't really like that, which again was the reason why he couldn't play the role in Poetic Justice. A lot of people have accused Ice Cube of being jealous of Tupac because of that. He not only outshined him acting-wise, but he was also becoming a threat on a rapping level. Ice Cube was becoming obsolete and the new guys were taking over. which Pac believes was one of the reasons why Cube didn't allow him to use that.
I gotta find this song. Anybody mentioned Tupac song, I'm going to find that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. It's on YouTube. I never heard that song. What's it called? Some freaky shit, ain't it? It came out 15 years ago. Ooh, it's an old song. Alright, bet. Appreciate you putting me on. I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna let you know what I think of it.
That sample. Yo-Yo didn't appear on the final version of Dear Mama due to Cube having a problem with it. Cause a day after putting the song together, Tupac came back to the studio to listen to it on a cassette tape. And he told DJ King Assassin, the guy who did the scratches on the song, that they can't clear the sample for the Yo-Yo parts because Cube told the manager of his label Lenchmark Records that Pac can't use it.
Oh, yeah, hate him.
Tupac was devastated when he heard the news because at the time he thought that would be his breakthrough single. And now, right before putting it out and getting his career to the next level, Cube comes and pulls the brakes, sabotaging the song in the process. At least that's how Pac felt. He thought Cube ruined the classic and doesn't want to see Pac succeed. And at the time, Pac was really running out of money due to all the lawyer fees for the Ayanna Jackson assault case. He was desperately trying to create the next hit and rap himself out of financial ruin. He was super mad at Cube for doing that. Pac was under the impression.
Close your mouth. I know you fucking lying.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
That nigga teeth way over here.
That the song Dear Mama wouldn't work without that one yo-yo line, which in the original version was used twice in the intro and 10 times in total in the hooks. So they were forced to remake the song, as the intro, outro and the hook were basically ruined. According to DJ King Assassin, it was Cube's jealousy and ego that made him stop Pac from using that sample. Ice Cube had Yo-Yo on his label and was basically responsible for her success, so she had to stay loyal to Cube and couldn't just meet up with Tupac and work something out. And even if she could, Yo-Yo was never informed by Cube that Tupac wanted to sample her vocals. So when DJ King Assassin informed her about it, she started crying, cause her and Pac had broken up prior to that song and lost contact even though the relationship didn't end in a bad way, according to Yo-Yo herself. He wanted to include her vocals to do something sweet for her. She would have been on one of the greatest and most emotional hip-hop records of all time, on a song that's empowering women, with Yo-Yo being the quote-unquote brand new intelligent black lady, being something like a feminist almost. Yo-Yo has never stopped loving Tupac even after his death. She even came to the hospital right before he died.
Let's get it up for Yo-Yo.
Another one.
Real one.
Give me a hell yeah.
I ain't never listen to her songs. I'm gonna go listen to her. You know what I'm saying? They don't put me on Yo-Yo, I'm gonna listen to you because you got them, you know what I'm saying? You kept it real, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature.
So yeah, they were really close. And according to DJ King Assassin, Tupac was enraged and super mad about it. He felt like he got stabbed in the back by a friend. Him and the DJ couldn't understand how Cube could sample everybody's songs on his albums, but didn't allow his friends to use one little line from an old song. Ice Cube heard that both the DJ and Pac were mad at him for that, and Cube then stopped talking to them. And afterwards he also stopped producing for Yo-Yo. He was the executive producer for her first 3 albums, Make Way for the Motherlode in 1991, Black Pearl in 1992, and You Better Ask Somebody in 1993. The two ex-NWA members Dr. Dre and Cube then came together to do a reunion album called Helter Skelter, which was supposed to come out in January 95 on Death Row Records, to which Tupac would sign to in autumn 95. But they ended up scrapping the album and Cube never collaborated with Death Row again. They had already recorded their first single called Natural Born Killers, which ended up on the Murder Was the Case soundtrack. On October 20th, Tupac was invited to come to the set for the shoot of the music video and make a cameo appearance as the sniper who kills Ice Cube in the final scene. But there are no pictures or videos of them together. Only pictures you see of Tupac outside in the dark with the video director Gary Gray. The scenes of Dre and Cube were shot in a different session inside a building, so they weren't hanging out together. They all just recorded their scenes and left. Pac was only in one little scene, a sniper that's all alone and pretending to aim at the cameraman. They later edited the scenes to make it look like he's shooting Ice Cube, but the two scenes were recorded in different sessions. Cube wasn't there anymore when they filmed Tupac's final.
It looked like he was a hater though. I ain't gonna lie, they look like they got to invite his ass and make him do that scene like he was a hater. There's a lot of shit going on. I'm like, bro, I lost so much respect for these motherfuckers. I ain't gonna lie. Like, why y'all all couldn't get along and do songs together, bro? Like that. One individual had y'all shook, bro. Y'all were hating on him, man, bro.
Scene. Suge Knight, the label boss of Death Row Records, had previously paid Tupac for the songs Pour Out a Little Liquor, Pain and Loyal to the Game, which were all on the movie soundtrack to Above the Rim, the movie Pac played in after Poetic Justice. The soundtrack came out on March 22nd, 1994 under the label Death Row Records, and the music video for Dr. Dre and Cube's Natural Born Killers came out on November 27th, 1994, just 3 days before the Quad Studio shooting in New York, in which Pac got shot 5 times. I made a video on this, which you should definitely check out. So Pac gets shot, goes to prison on abuse charges on February 7th, 1995, gets bailed out by Suge Knight on October 12th that same year, and gets signed to Death Row Records. When Tupac joined that label, and when the whole East Coast West Coast war was going on in hip-hop, Pac was paying close attention to everything that was said during the coastal beef. He saw everyone that was sending shots at the West Coast as his enemy, and every West Coast artist dissing the East Coast he saw as a potential teammate and ally. He took the East Coast West Coast war very seriously, as he had become the face of it. The media had declared him and the Notorious B.I.G. as the protagonists of that beef. He didn't tolerate any disrespect towards the people on his coast. Everyone dissing Snoop, the Dog Pound, Dre, Death Row, his friends, or West Coast artists in general, he saw as an enemy, and was ready to diss them. Ice Cube at the time had formed his own little group and was collaborating with the West Coast MCs Mac 10 and Dub C, with whom he had dropped the single Westside Slaughterhouse in 1995, on which they were responding to a rapper from Chicago called Common Sense, who in 1994 released his sophomore album Resurrection, with the lead single I Used to Love Her, which tells the story of a girl he fell in love with, which Common used as a metaphor for hip-hop. So he's metaphorically describing the evolution of hip-hop and how the genre changed over time once the West Coast took over. Common is not fond of the way hip-hop has developed once the West Coast started influencing the genre as a whole. So Common ends the song by saying that he will try to take hip-hop back to its roots, and that he wants to make it stop to be so gangsterish, violent and obscene. So of course rappers on the West Coast took offense to that, including Ice Cube and Tupac. Pac was just itching to respond, but the song I Used to Love Her was released in 1994, before Tupac started rapping the West Coast the way he did after signing to Death Row and after being released from prison. So the timing wasn't right. If it was, he would have definitely dissed Common for that song alone, even if he didn't mean it that way, like he later clarified. Somebody had to step up and defend the West Coast. That's how people felt back then. The person in charge for the West Coast, who was both lyrically top tier and also respected in the rap game, was Cube at the time. Pac saw how Cube, Mac 10 and Dub C were dissing Common in 1995, while he was in prison, on the song Westside Slaughterhouse, which was on Mac 10's self-titled album, released on June 20th. On October 12th, Pac came out of prison and a lot of people on the West Coast started reaching out to him. Basically every major artist in LA, except people like Ice Cube, Mac 10 and Dub C. Pac always looked up to him, was inspired by him. So he was like, If I was cool with Cube right now, I would be going at Carmen for him. But now I'm staying out of it. Cause Pac and Cube weren't close anymore. Cube didn't write him or reach out to him while he was in prison. He also started his own movement with Westside Connection, instead of becoming part of the Death Row family. He also
like Westside Connection. I don't even know one song from there. But y'all people, y'all like Westside, what is it called? Westside Connection? I don't know not one song from them.
Also cancelled the collab album with Dre, so they grew apart. Pac used to call him, but he never got on the phone or called back. There was tension between the two, and Pac was trying to figure out what was wrong. It was later revealed by Gonzo, member of the group Caution, which was signed to Cube's label Lenchmark Records, who would also become an honorable member of Tupac's group Outlaws, that Cube quote-unquote crossed him, the same way he did Gonzo even though he was signed to his label. Cube used to do that to people he didn't want to work with or talk to, so he ignored him basically, and didn't want to have anything to do with Pac anymore. And Gonzo of course informed Tupac about that. Suge Knight thought of signing Ice Cube to the label and of more or less reviving the group NWA, but without Eazy-E, who had passed away on March 26 that year. Dre and Cube were actually dissing Eazy-E on the scrapped album Helter Skelter, but Cube and E squashed their beef in time, and the disses never came out. There were actually plans for an NWA reunion, with Cube and Dre coming together as the OGs of the group, and Snoop and the Dogg Pound serving as a replacement for MC Ren, Yella and Eazy-E, cause the beef with Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records was still on. Suge wanted to profit off of that whole movement, cause NWA is what made gangster rap so popular. The whole label Death Row was built on the success of that group.
So it's NWA fault. Why you call school Lynch Mall?
Thug like, I don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug like, nigga?
Bad. I agree with you, my boy. I don't like Drake. I don't like Drake at all.
But those plans failed because Cube didn't want to sign to Death Row Records. He had his own label called Lenchmark Records, and both Cube and Dre had big egos at the time. Nobody wanted to give up on their own label and movement to sign to their ex-NWA partner. Cause Cube had originally left the group NWA to start his own label, instead of signing to Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records. And giving up on Lenchmark Records to sign under Dre's label wasn't a good look for him. Even though Death Row was way bigger and way more successful, everybody wanted to be the number one. Not just number one on their label, but also number one on their coast and in hip-hop in general. Cube coming over to Death Row wouldn't benefit him, as he wouldn't be a priority within the label, cause all the other artists were bigger than him. And your music would suffer based on your hierarchy within the label. The most popular artist on the label gets the best beats. Everyone else has to wait for their turn, and be happy with what they get. Cube chose to be the number one artist on Lenchmark Records, a less successful label, over being the number 4 on the more successful Death Row Records, meaning behind Dre, Snoop and Pac. When Tupac came over to Death Row, all eyes were on him, which funny enough became the title of his upcoming album. He became so popular that even Dre, the OG, got outshined. He wasn't the number one artist on the label anymore.
Dre cannot rap. Dre cannot rap, bro. He need ghost writers, bro. I don't even consider Dre nothing. He ain't on no top 10, top 20, or top 30. All his songs, somebody wrote that shit for him. That beat wise, yeah, he a good beat. He make beats now.
Hook didn't want them to work on Dre's new album until they're done using Pac's hype at the time to their advantage, which made Dre almost feel like an intern over there. That, along with a bunch of other reasons I will touch on in a future video, made him leave his own label, cause he was the co-owner of Death Row Records.
We need him.
The same thing but worse would have happened to Cube. Pac was just taking over, Ice Cube saw that and was, I don't want to say intimidated and jealous, but it did kinda shock him. To see a guy who was once a fan of him and had been inspired by him for all these years to outgrow him and to quote-unquote master his style, as Pac would later describe it.
Even if they came out dissing me, I could destroy them. I've mastered their styles. They could keep writing new shit, but I've mastered their styles, like the 5 Deadly Venoms. They had the 5 Deadly Venoms, right? And the teacher made one more nigga that knew all their styles. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, and he could destroy him.
A fan of him had become his biggest competition on the West Coast. Cause think about it, Dre was the biggest rapper on the West Coast at the time. But the game never ranked him above Cube, as he was the one writing lyrics for him. And he also destroyed him in their little lyrical exchange of words, which essentially led to NWA's dissolution in 1991. So Dre got humbled by Cube, and Snoop was seen as his little sidekick, who was lucky to get someone like him to produce his debut album. But he was still super popular. Eazy-E had passed away, so who else was really the representative for the West Coast at the time?
They doing all that gangster rap. My thing is about that, what you said. They were doing all that with the gangster rap. How the fuck? Y'all let Biggie come on there with a love song. That nigga kill it. He was killing the West Side with love songs and shit. One more chance and all that shit. Man, damn, I don't understand that shit.
Cube felt like it was him. He was selling a lot of units, was lyrical, and was also doing movies. And now, all of a sudden, Pac is trying to take away his spot by not only surpassing Dre and making everyone else on the label sit on the reserve bench, so to speak, but also by coming for the #1 spot worldwide. Cause once his double album All Eyes on Me came out, he was outselling and outshining everybody. So Cube definitely felt some type of way about it.
How you looking too?
And people to this day still criticize him for refusing to give Tupac his flowers. To him, Pac was always just a little boy, who only got so far because of OGs like him. He knows that Pac was inspired by him. Cube is a very competitive MC. He would never admit that Tupac was better or on the same level as him. Cause Pac doesn't even appear in his top 20. It would have been impossible to do an NWA reunion with Tupac and Cube in the same group. They tried bringing back the old NWA crew after Tupac had passed. They wanted Snoop to replace Eazy-E and brought back MC Ren. Only songs they were able to put out were Hello and Chin Check, recorded between 1998 and 1999. All the other songs they recorded never saw the light of day. So they once again were forced to cancel their plans of reviving NWA. The members of the group had little chemistry and were too competitive for it to.
Out of all these, I'm going with Eminem. I ain't gonna lie. I think Eminem can out-rap Ice Cube. He definitely out-rap Snoop Dogg. Dr. Dre, you ain't even in the conversation. I don't even know who the fuck this is right here, but he looks sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Work. Everyone wanted to do their own thing and be the #1 in their own lane. Dre had his label Aftermath and had signed Eminem. Snoop became a No Limit soldier and wanted his own label. MC Ren was past his prime and Cube wanted to do movies. So everyone just went their separate ways and they were overall just too big to do another NWA album. Everyone wanted to shine on their own without getting too close with each other. That had been the case since the NWA breakup. Their friendship suffered because of their competitiveness and their egos. And that was also the problem between Cube and Pac.
He turned to me today, I go, can you write to this? Right. Security, can I write to this? Is you crazy? I had to stop and go, Dre, you do not know how long I waited to get in this booth. And I have Dre out there going, you ready? You know what I mean? Yeah. I waited all my life for that, so straight out of Compton.
Pac was a huge NWA fan. He had always looked up to them. That's why he was excited to work with Dre. But once he got to know him, outgrew him, and once Dre left the label, it was kinda like when Cube left NWA. He was seen as a traitor. Pac had worked with Cube in the past too. And then he sabotaged his song Dear Mama. So the respect he had for people who inspired him, like Dre and Cube for example, slowly started to fade away. He had become too big of an artist to look up to people he felt were below him. Especially when they did him dirty. Cause that's how Pac felt about Cube. He had a song on the album All Eyes on Me called Two of America's Most Wanted, which originally was supposed to be a Snoop Dogg song, the lead single to his upcoming album The Dogfather. But again, all eyes were on Pac, so he absorbed everything Death Row had to offer at that time and used it to.
I'm getting this. I'm getting my Tupac shit together, y'all. I'm having all the CDs and the thing hang up on my back of my wall, so y'all be seeing this soon. I couldn't get these albums and shit cause I was like I said, I was born in '91, and so I'm old enough to buy no goddamn albums and shit. So I'm going on Amazon buying the original ones and shit and hang them up like for a trophy and shit for y'all.
Get himself on top. The song was supposed to be Snoop Dogg solo and called America's Most Wanted, the same as Ice Cube's classic debut album from 1990. The project was named after the debut single of that album. In Cube's song America's Most Wanted, he's rapping about a criminal life that catches up with a wanted man. Pac and Snoop did the same thing on their song. They rapped about a criminal life, them getting acquitted of murder and assault charges and fighting in court for their freedom. Cube felt like Pac and Snoop were copying him, but they were at the same time way more successful. So this was the second time now that Cube felt like Pac was biting him. First with the song Dear Mama and now with Two of America's Most Wanted.
Came out. Hold on now. When Friday came out? I thought he was been big off Friday. When Friday came out? Oh shit. Okay, Friday came out in 1995 though. Damn, 27 million? God damn.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga?
Oh, you said 99 bed. So what I had to be like 4 or 5 when that movie came out. Damn, what the video at? Oh, I'm tripping. Did I just? Okay, there we go.
Pac didn't see it as biting. One song was a dedication to his mother, and the other was a collab with Snoop. Pac thought that it was the other way around, that Cube was actually stealing ideas from him. Accused him of stealing his whole swagger. The bandana, even though it seems like Cube had it first, the W hand sign, the frequent use of the phrase Westside, his war mentality, his mafioso style, and he also thought that the group Westside Connection is a ripoff of Thug Life. It's not clear if Cube stole the Westside hand sign from Pac, cause on his song Enemy off the album Lethal Injection in 1993, he said that he's throwing up the W.
Now I change my style up, bodies pile up, just to trouble you, throwing up the W.
Cube fans always use this line to defend him. They also sampled that line on August 95 on the song West Up from the group Dub C and the Mad Circle, which also features Mac 10 and Ice Cube.
I got a song called Granny Nuttin' Up. I'm goddamn dead. Now, girl, what Granny doing? What Grandma doing? Hold on now. What that mean? Nothing up.
West Sea affiliate, yeah. Going up the W. Say, going up the W. Ain't no party like a West Side party, right?
This was before Pac came out of prison in October 95. Cube wasn't really known for that until Pac started doing it frequently on his shows, covers, pictures, in interviews and also in music videos. The first time Pac saw Cube throw up the W was on the cover of the May 96 issue of the Source magazine, and then later in the Bow Down music video. This was months after Pac dropped his All Eyes on Me album with that iconic cover of him forming a W with his right hand and using his other hand to show off his Death Row necklace. And that's why Pac thought he was biting him. Cube didn't really pose like that prior to the All Eyes on Me album. Pac was also making fun of Cube for not forming the W correctly, like he does. He thought Cube was trying to imitate him. The W that everyone uses nowadays is closer to the one Pac used, hiding the thumb behind the hand so that there are only 4 fingers visible. Cube, on the other hand, never did it like Pac did. Always held his thumb close to the index finger, and didn't hide it behind the hand to make it look more like a W. Both wanted to set a trend with their W signs, so that there's only one way to do it, the right way. Most people use the sign Tupac used, and he's the first person that comes to mind when thinking about the West Coast sign. Cube throwing up the W right after Tupac made it popular made it almost seem like he's trying to use the wave Tupac started for himself, after sabotaging Tupac's song Dear Mama and not reaching out to him. As for the phrase Westside, Cube used it years before Pac even came to Death Row. On the song You Know How We Do.
It stand for Watts. What do you say it stand? He said it stand for Watts. What y'all think what they throwing a W for? So I ain't heard no. He first one I heard say Watts. We know it from Westside.
It, for example, which came out in 1993. People also accused Cube of biting Pac's war mentality. But the Westside Connection was already doing pro-West / anti-everybody type of songs before Tupac came out of prison. Like for example on the songs For Life and Westside Slaughterhouse on Mac 10's album, which came out in June 1995. Or on the song West Up, which was on the Dub C and the Mad Circle album, released in August 1995. This whole you better respect the West or else type of rapping. The West.
Shout out to my moderator, Larry.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
Just going back over Ice Cube versus Tupac. The W is from Watts and Williams and Los Angeles since the 1960s. Then became the. Appreciate you telling me that. I probably knew that shit if I grew up on the West Side though. If I grew up in Los Angeles, but I didn't. Appreciate you telling me that.
Westside Connection was already doing that, treating the West Coast like a gang almost, while making bold statements like hip-hop started in the West or that they rule hip-hop.
Mac 10, you know your rule hip
I ain't know that shit too. I mean, I thought that was
rock, you know your rule hip hop, ayy. Yes, D-Nice, you know your rule hip hop, ayy. Mac 10, you know your rule hip hop, Ben. Wait a minute, that ain't how the West Coast rock. Look at hip hop started in the West. Ice Cube bailing through the East without a vest. In the East, we can be brothers, but when you come to LA, watch them loud ass colors. What's up, boo?
The East-West conflict existed since around 1991, so it wasn't something that Tupac and his label started. But they certainly were the most direct and aggressive ones. They had the biggest impact and were the most important figures of the conflict. Cube's jabs at the East Coast on Westside Slaughterhouse in 1995 didn't really leave a mark compared to Tupac's Hit 'Em Up. Tupac didn't even acknowledge Cube's diss record as fuel for the East-West war. He didn't think of them as generals of the war, so to speak. He thought of them as trend followers, not as leaders. People that try to use his wave for success. Cause before Hit 'Em Up, none of the anti-East Coast diss records were bringing people on the West together. Cause radio hosts and rappers on the East would always make fun of fuel for the East-West war. He didn't think of them as generals of the war, so to speak. He thought of them as trend followers, not as leaders. People that try to use his wave for success. Cause before
my bad. So my question is, back then in the 90s, shit, the West Coast East Coast war. So let's say I'm in New York and I'm from the West Side. If I tell people I'm from the West Side, they gonna jump me and shit, or they gonna shoot at me and shit. It was that serious. Or if I'm on the West Side and I'm from the East Side, and then I tell people I'm from the East Side, they gonna jump me, shoot me. It was that serious. This is what it was in Baltimore and New York, in Oakland. Fact. I'm trying to see why New York didn't want to make Tupac goddamn like the king of New York. They did at that point. I don't know how Tupac. New York didn't like Tupac for some reason. I don't know what the fuck. I don't think that was before even Biggie. New York didn't like Tupac.
Before Hit 'Em Up, none of the anti-East Coast diss records were bringing people on the West together. Cause radio hosts and rappers on the East would always make fun of the West. Intercoastal conflicts were always treated as disagreements and beefs between individuals. It wasn't marketed and promoted as a coastal beef, one coast versus the other, until Pac and Big got involved. Cube's movement wasn't big enough to accomplish that. So when Cube dropped the song Bow Down in August 96, Pac thought he was trying to ride his wave. Westside Connection wasn't as radical as Tupac and the Outlaws.
Yeah, I know that Tupac don't want to do that shit now. There's some copying shit. We got some copying going on. I see we got questions.
Thug life, dog, don't forget that shit.
We got questions. It was hard, you know. That's why they got them. That's why they unlinked the Biggie. Damn, down south. So you couldn't claim down south. I didn't want to sign Nas. Nas hard though. Now I pick Nas over Jay-Z any damn day. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I pick Nas over Biggie, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. I listen to Nas, but for I forgot who it was. Was it Trap? I'm gonna do that listening part. I'm gonna do a special stream for y'all. I'm gonna do it on I might have to do it on Twitch. I can't do it on YouTube. I'm gonna do it on Twitch. I'm gonna listen to Biggie for the first time. I'm gonna listen to his whole album. We're gonna go song for song. I'm gonna tell y'all my honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look up lyrics too. I'm gonna look up lyrics because I wanna know what he's saying too. We might do Life After Death. We might do Life After Death first. Is it called Life After Death?
Life, dog, don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga?
You said when, if you call that, what's up, how you doing? If you call that music, what you mean by that, Wins? But I'm gonna do that big stream for y'all. For all my, cause I don't wanna feel like I'm like, you know what I'm saying, just hating on Biggie and shit. Cause I love Tupac, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him a shot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all say he got wordplay, so I'm gonna go for the wordplay. But I'm gonna skip that song. He talking about them kids and shit. I don't know about it. I don't know. He weird as hell when he said that shit. Biggie, we got questions?
They didn't really go directly at the East. What Cube made clear, however, is that nobody can disrespect the West without consequences. Like against Common Sense in A Tribe Called Quest, for example. Pac's beef was way more personal. Cube never crossed the line. They always played fair. They didn't really have underlying hatred for the East like Pac and Death Row did. Cause the people on the row saw them as their mortal enemies, like I explained in my recent video, the reason why Diddy killed Tupac. People lost their lives, and that's why Death Row went to that extreme. Pac was ready for smoke and ready to battle anybody. If you actually do your research, you'll find out that Pac was screaming F New York on records like NY87, for example. Cube and the Westside Connection were only defending...
What the song called? Hold on now, I gotta find that shit again. Oh, shit, I'm fucked up. Hold on, you gotta go back.
Connection were only defending their coast. It was all friendly competition to them. But Pac, seeing them make the slightest move against the East Coast, made him think that they're trying to ride his wave. Between 1994 and 1995, Cube believed that his style was starting to become outdated. He began making adjustments in an attempt to regain his mainstream relevance in some shape or form. He didn't want to, nobody can disrespect the West without consequences.
What is it?
Between individuals. They accused him of stealing Cube and the Westside Connection. People lost their lives, and that's why Death Row went to that extreme. Pac was ready for smoke and ready to battle anybody. If you actually do your research, you'll find out that Pac was screaming F New York on records like NY87, for example.
mother to up till they feel me. It's West Coast against New York. Not everybody here.
New York 87.
Cube and the Westside Connection were only defending their coast. It was all friendly competition to them.
Let me do my research. Research. Y'all said they West Coast legend. What name was? King T. Okay. Oh, we got an interview too. Okay, we got King T. We know who King T is. Oh, he talked about Tupac too. Y'all wanna go see that? Real quick. What you say about Tupac?
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
Invited Joe. Oh, let's go look. See if we can find this interview. Oh, he had a fight with Tupac over the red. Oh, hold on now. Hold on now. Let's go see what they talking about. Hold on now. King T. Tupac. Said King T break silence on the fight with Tupac over the red bandana that Tupac wore. Let's see he telling the truth or he lying. Let's see it. Shout Digital.
Oh, okay, I see. But speaking of Tupac, since you brought him up, Ed Lover, I had him on the platform and he was speaking about it. You and Pac, y'all had a fight, right?
Nah, Ed's my man. He just had a couple of things incorrect. Yeah, it was at Glam Slam downtown Los Angeles. It was a kind of a dark time for me. Like I said, I was in between. You know, I'd had 4 albums out, and you know, I'm going through that. My career's over. Probably thing going through my head. I was drinking a lot around that time. You know what I'm saying? He had that correct. And, you know, but the misconception is me and Tupac was great friends. You know what I'm saying? So it was never, I would never press him or anything like that. We always, when we saw each other out in Miami or you know, New York, we always banded together and rolled out together. So we were tight. This particular night, I'm out with some friends and at the bar, and first time I'm trying this new drink called Adios Motherfucker. I had about 3 of them, and you know, and Pac came in, greeted me at the bar, and he had, it wasn't a blue rag. That's the you know, mistake Ed Lover had. It wasn't a blue rag, it was a red rag. And
so you say
I've
been hearing it for long. Tupac was a Crip, then switched to blood. Which one, man? You know what I'm saying? Cause everybody be talking about 1 minute he a Crip, then next minute he blood. Like, make up your goddamn mind.
Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
E40, Too Short. I can go. Yeah, I love E40. Tell me where to go. I love E40. We love E40. Shout out E40. E40 about to get into a big, you know. I forgot. Did we see that interview? I forgot what stream we seen that interview when E40 was talking about how they pressed Biggie and shit.
Oh, it started off on some humorous, you know what I'm saying, playing around like what you got on your head, you know what I'm saying, you know, and I'm drunk, and like I said, going through some things and kind of, you know, in this
You ain't telling the truth.
crazy space, and it just, you know, it was more of the people that was around Pac that was tripping out, you know what I'm saying. I started out on like some playful things, and it just went too far to where the shoving and all that came into play and all that, and we ended up getting put out the club, and it just turned crazy. And like I said, it was more the people around him. We got outside and I'm trying to get to him. Everything is crazy. I'm trying to get to him and they getting in the car and things like that. And I'm trying to speak to him at the car. And then somebody dope fiend me from behind, you know, and I was out. And what's funny about that is I don't know what I was tripping on. You know, I'm not. I say it all the time. I'm not a gang banger. I've been affiliated with, you know, the gang culture. I mean, my family. I got family from Compton. You know, and that's what I represent. And you know, I got family from L.A. gangs.
We don't want to know all that to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? You sound like you scared. Be honest, I ain't gonna lie. You shouldn't have said what you said, but they put your ass in check and they knocked your ass out, okay? On to the net. Tupac, E40. Shit, I might change. I wanna put Machiavelli song on there so damn bad, bro. God damn, I wanna do that shit so bad. When y'all be texting the chat, they'll play that Machiavelli. I'm not Machiavelli, but Hail Mary, E40, said Punks, Biggie, here you go. I forgot which one I had watched. Damn, it's 45 minutes, god damn. Keep it short. You don't got music now.
5, when it was said that Biggie went.
Got music now. Come on, I just want a regular fucking interview.
T-Bro in the morning. You got the beautiful Laura Styles.
From Richmond, California. You can Google it, look it up. He got a song called Player Haters, man. The word come from Richmond, California. You know, so that's 1988, 89, bro. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I ever heard it. And I'm in the thick of the Bay. But you know, Richmond, they laced up, they gamed up. They ahead of their time too. You feel me?
Now, speaking of ahead of their time, Too Short was for Northern California independent music and making your own music, selling it out the trunk. Yeah. How much, when you guys started Sick With It, did you model after what Too Short had done with independent music? What was you guys modeling your business? Because ownership and being independent is a Bay Area.
Personalized song, and they're paying some Gouda. So we created a system with my Uncle St. Charles. My Uncle St. Charles,
right?
It was our life, but it was also, we was preaching for other people too. I talk your ear off. I like to hear myself talk. You know, when you're young, you're a young hyena, you know, a young piranha. I say, I'm finna have at him, right? Hello, yeah. So I just in different places, and he was like, you know, you got 8 Ball and MJG out there doing their thing out there in Houston, and you know, you got the Goody Mob doing their thing out there in Atlanta. And you know, you got E40 out there in the Bay Area, you know, and he was like, well, Joe, you know, I don't know nothing about the, you know, the E-Feezies and the Goody Mobs, but, you know, it's strictly Wu-Tang on mine. Like that, right? That's how he said it. On Rap City, bro, he's just like trying to like knock me down. Like, right. I don't know that. No, he said he don't know nothing about it. He said, I don't know about the E-Feezies, and you feel me? Just like that. So I just, okay, so I'll talk. So me and Lady Rage was trying to do a song together. We never did it, but we will do it. That's my fault. I ain't got nothing but love for her. She called me. We got she said, did you just see what I just seen on TV? I say, yeah, I seen that too. I appreciate that. I say, man, dude, out of pocket for that. So, you know, I'm young. You know, when you're young, you're a young hyena, you know, a young piranha. I say, I'm finna have at him, right? So I made a song called Record Haters.
Record hating bitches.
I just, you know, I say, I told the boy to stick to basketball, and what's that nigga name, Rashid? Well, I was just gonna have to learn to respect you. I say, I'm 28, nigga.
It's something else. We'll find it. We're gonna come back and find it. I forgot where I seen it at.
But Pac, seeing them make the slightest move against the East Coast, made him think that they're trying to ride his wave. Between 1994 and 1995, Cube believed that his style was starting to become outdated. He began making adjustments in an attempt to regain his mainstream relevance in some shape or form. He didn't want to get left behind by the Snoops, Dre's, Parks and Bigs of the world. And a lot of people have accused him of stealing ideas from other MCs in hope that he can use them to catch up to everyone else. That's how the beef with the West Coast rap group Cypress Hill started. They accused him of stealing the hook of his song Friday from Cypress Hill's song Throw Your Set in the Air. He was facing biting accusations from all directions, not just from Tupac. Ice Cube was starting to get overshadowed and outsold by artists from all around the US. So Pac thought he was trying to profit off of the East Coast-West Coast beef by becoming part of it, so that the magazines and the media put their names next to the protagonists of the conflict, meaning next to Tupac and Biggie. After Tupac released a song Hit 'Em Up against like a dozen rappers on the East Coast, and after slowly evolving into a mafioso rap type of artist with his alias Machiavelli the Don, Pac was under the impression that Cube tried to copy that formula by calling himself the Don of the West Coast and by dissing other artists.
About to drop the bomb, I'm the West Coast Don. Big fish in a small pond.
Pac knew that Cube called himself the Don before he came out of prison, and before he changed his name to Machiavelli the Don. Cube started doing that right around the time Pac got incarcerated in early '95, ever since Cube got close with Dub C and Mac 10.
Well, it's the dog. Breathing out the smoke, got my whole gut is gangsters. Dying at a click.
This was the same song on which Westside Connection dissed Common, so Pac knew about the existence of it, since he wanted to battle Common. But the problem Pac had with Cube wasn't him calling himself the Don, but once you claim to be the Don of a whole coast, you're indirectly implying that everyone else on that coast is lower than you in hierarchy.
Y'all know I'm goddamn. I'm 90.
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch.
That motherfucker hair white. Everybody on the, you know what I mean? Ain't no way in the head. But you never know though. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make me look. I'm gonna Google that shit just cause he trolling. I'm gonna Google that shit. What Ice Cube? I'm gonna put that shit right here. What Ice Cube hair white? If it was, ain't nothing wrong with it. They said no, Ice Cube is not halfway. He's an African American. Yeah, nah, look how he look. Yeah, nah, ain't no way in here. That's a black man for sure, for sure. Ain't gonna lie, I'm old now. He look kind of creepy. He said, Ice Cube, no Vaseline, destroyed NWA on that beat. So y'all gotta do NWA, bro. But I'm the NWA documentary I want to do. They got a lot of music in it. I want to do it on Twitch for y'all. I know I can't do it on YouTube. I'm doing it on Twitch, or I might do it on TikTok. I don't know, depending on how I feel. So I can play the music and shit. Cause I don't know too much about NWA like that, except for like one day hit songs.
Meaning that Cube is the #1 rapper on the West, and that Tupac has to bow down, even though he's the highest selling and most hyped rapper at that moment in time.
Bow down. Cause I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a killer that's greater than you.
I bow down respectfully, not bow down to them as men or as performers, but as elders. Like that's like if you see any old mob coming, you know what I mean? Get me a table before you give me a table. Let him in before you let me in, because I do know I'm the Don there. But I know if I'm not the Don, I want that respect, because that to be the Don at one point means you had to have something. If they diss me, I would have dissed them.
Tupac, of course, had a problem with that. He thought first he tried to sabotage his song, got in between him and Yo-Yo, and now he tries to come at him like this, even though they're friends. While all his other friends are happy that he's finally out of prison and are reaching out to him to show love. Cube wasn't always like this. Rapping the West almost like a gang, ready for confrontation, participating in intercoastal wars, that only started with Westside Connection. Cause when Tim Dog dissed him and the West Coast on the song F Compton in 1991, he didn't even respond, even though it was direct and not a subliminal diss like Common's song I Used to Love Her, for example. Pac was wondering why he didn't make a song like Bow Down and rap his coast before the media blew up the whole East-West conflict due to the beef between the labels Death Row and Bad Boy. When people like Tim Dog dissed him and made fun of the West Coast, he was as quiet as a church mouse, even though he was lyrically able to respond, like he did against NWA with No Vaseline. And now all of a sudden he strikes back at everyone for only mentioning the West Coast, and for sharing their opinions without trying to diss them. After leaving his group in December '89, Cube actually collaborated with a lot of artists and producers on the East Coast. His debut album America's Most Wanted was produced by the Bomb Squad, which is a New York production team known for their work with the rap group Public Enemy. And after all those years of profiting from the East Coast, all of a sudden, without a reason that you can point to, like Pac's shooting at the Quad Studios in New York for example, Cube starts dissing the same coast that helped him to get back on his feet after leaving NWA. At least that's how Pac saw it. Cube wasn't directly dissing the East, he was just defending the West Coast. They were
You look like, go ahead. Where is it?
To get back on his feet after leaving NWA. At least that's how Pac saw it. Cube wasn't directly.
Nigga look like one of them uncles that be at the goddamn cookout. Come over here, nephew. Be talking shit to you. Come over here, nephew. I'm sure how we got them move around back in my goddamn day. Come get a little squeeze there, put a little hair on your chest. You like one of the uncles right there.
Directly dissing the East, he was just defending the West Coast. They were directly dissing A Tribe Called Quest on the song Cross Him Out and Put a K, which came out after Tupac died. And the song Bow Down was more of a anti-everyone type of song, unlike Hit 'Em Up, which was mainly anti-East Coast. Bow Down was more of a catchy West Coast anthem, and not really a diss song. It was just weird for Pac to see Cube on the cover of the Source magazine putting up the W, and then to hear Bow Down, a pro-West, anti-everyone type of song, with his homies supporting him just like the Outlaws supported Pac, that same summer Hit 'Em Up came out. Cube was battling Cypress Hill, Common, A Tribe Called Quest, everyone who tried to diss the West Coast, so just like Pac, Cube was in war mode. It felt like he was planning to battle everybody, and that's what got Pac confused, since he was the one that was portrayed as the guy who stepped up to battle everyone, take on a whole coast on his own. You could get the impression that one is trying to mimic the other. Not only that, but Pac was also convinced that the song Bow Down was a rehash or at least inspired by his song Hit 'Em Up. But Mac 10 from Westside Connection denied it, saying that they were quote-unquote too into what they were doing and didn't even care about what Hit 'Em Up or any other record sounded like. Bow Down came out in August '96, Hit 'Em Up on June 4th, so on the surface it looks like Westside Connection copied them. But Bow Down was recorded in 1995. You could make the argument that it was still possible for them to copy Hit 'Em Up, since the original version was recorded on October 31st, 1995. Assuming that Cube heard the original version and then recorded Bow Down. But they had no contact and weren't in the studio together. And they were defending the West Coast before Pac came out of prison. So Cube did not bite Hit 'Em Up like Pac claims.
All you suckers wanna diss the Pacific, but you busted never get specific. But if you living on the west side of your town, make them other fools bow down.
Pac thought Cube was trying to take some of his shine during the whole East-West beef, as he was viewed as the face of the West Coast at the time. And now, all of a sudden, we have Cube calling himself the West Coast Don, who's quote-unquote running everything west to Mississippi. Tupac had just recorded his Machiavelli the Don Illuminati album. The Don was written on the album cover, so he thought people might start accusing him of biting Cube and the whole Don thing, cause Cube...
My bad, y'all. You said who their name is? C-Bone? The C-Bone? Yeah, it say C-Bone. It says C-Bone and Spike one. What the fuck? Not Spike from Buffett. That's what I said.
Don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug like nigga.
Oh, I spread it wrong. I put it wrong one. Spice one. Okay, bet. Appreciate you telling me that, brother. I'm gonna check them out. I want to do Bone Thugs and Harmony. That shit is part of my head. I want to do a Bone Thugs and Harmony documentary, bro. Like with how they grew up, how they blew up and shit too. Cause I love Bone Thugs and Harmony too.
Cube had used it before him, but not as frequently. Just like the whole thing about the Westside sign and also the bandana, Tupac wanted the Dawn title for himself. Just like the word thug, outlaw, MOB, and all the other words that people connect with Tupac. He wanted everybody to think about him when using the word Dawn, or when using the word thug, thug life. He actually started beefing with people for using his terms. Like for example when Nas used the word thug. Pac called him out on that on the original version of the song When Thugs Struck.
Which one y'all, I know Tupac and Biggie got a song Bone Thugs Hard. Which one y'all think, who y'all going from? Bone Thugs and Harmony with Tupac or Bone Thugs and Harmony with Biggie? Which one harder? Which one y'all going with? Who y'all going with? Y'all going Biggie, Bone Thugs and Harmony or Biggie? Ooh, but you don't know, you too young for that, young man, you too young for that. You know what I'm saying? That's grown for right there. You know what I'm saying? I need to know because I like both songs too. But I ain't gonna lie, in my opinion, Biggie did got them. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna put song, Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and Tupac, Biggie, Bone Thugs and Harmony, I gotta get the Biggie because Biggie did kill that shit. Did how Biggie version, then they came back and boom. That shit was hard to fuck. I said, God damn. I said, that shit hard. I gotta get Biggie that one. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna be Biggie. Biggie did his thing on that one. I ain't gonna lie. That shit harder than the Tupac Bone Thugs and Harmony. But I like both songs too though. But I gotta get Biggie that shit. He killed that shit. Oh man, Dangerous. I said, oh Lord. He said, okay, we got one for Pop. We got one for Pop. We got two for Biggie. That motherfucker, man, I want to listen to that shit with y'all so damn bad, bro. I might tell y'all coming over Twitch. We need to bump some Tupac music and some Biggie music, things of that nature.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
How you doing like that? Oh, you thinking? The boss? What you mean by that?
Try.
I ain't gonna lie. This shit right here gives me every time I see like a picture of Tupac on his cross and I see that bullet on him, I be like, did he predict that shit? Well, he's gonna get killed at? Cause that shit right there is creepy as hell. Cause what, that's real cage? Not real cage, but like that's where your lungs at, ain't it? Damn.
Not only that, but he also called him out for rapping about getting shot.
We're rapping about my motherfucking life. I'm talking face ass motherfucker. I'm keep talking about he got shot, left the hospital. When? What month, motherfucker? What motherfucker month? I'm talking about gatting and shooting.
The reason why I'm mentioning this is because Tupac was a little sensitive when it came to people rapping about topics that he himself addressed in his lyrics. Biting was frowned upon back in the day. Just using the same words was enough reason for Tupac to go at you. Especially when that word or phrase describes Tupac or his life. like Thug, Dawn, Westside, MOB, Outlaws, Thug Life, shot 5 times, left the hospital the same day. Pac was paying close attention to that. He was also mad at Bone Thugs and Harmony, for example, because they had the word Thug in their name. But they actually showed love to Pac, and that's why they were cool. They made a song together called Thug Love. But Cube wasn't showing Pac love, and that's why he got mad for calling himself the West Coast Don. Even if you had used the word before him, you had to show love. Pac had a huge ego. That's why he thought Bow Down was aimed at him. Cube did indeed want Pac to humble himself. Not only that, but there's also a scene in the beginning of the music video where you can see a guy who looks...
You a grown ass man, kissing that nigga hands crazy. Suspect.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Like, how you explain that to your family? Like, I know you told people in your family that you was in the video. You know what I'm saying? And you kissing his goddamn hand. Like, hello. I don't give a damn how much money. I ain't doing all this shit.
Just like Tupac in the early days before he started wearing the bandana.
My lips all on that motherfucker. You hear me? To my spit all on your hand. Yeah, that. Well, yeah, I'd rather have women do that shit. You should put a woman do that shit. Like, have the woman kissing hand. You gonna have a nigga kiss. Really supposed to portray Tupac kissing his hand, though. That's who you really was supposed to portray. But, hey, still, bro. How you explain that to your family? I know your family seen that damn video. Like, bro, you kissing another man, man. I know he's on his ass.
Meaning before 1993. Cause Cube felt like Pac was inferior to him and got a style and the look with the bandana from him. Cause Cube started wearing bandanas in autumn 92, around the time he released his album The Predator. You can see him wear it on the album cover and also in the music videos for the songs Wicked, It Was a Good Day and Check Yourself. And the earliest pictures of Tupac wearing a bandana were made in May 93. And the first music video cover and also in the music videos for the songs Wicked, It Was a Good Day
and I like this damn music video too. I like that song too. Damn, that's crazy.
And Check Yourself. And the earliest pictures of Tupac wearing a bandana were made in May 93. And the first music video where he wore it was on Papa's Song, which came out in 1994. But Tupac made that look with a bandana iconic. When seeing a bandana, the first person that comes to mind is...
I missed out on a lot of, you know what I'm saying, me being 91, you know what I'm saying? I missed out on a lot of music, bro. I still got a lot of music I need to listen to. It's like ass good artists out there that's I never listened to before that y'all gonna put me on. And I'm like, damn, but I love that guy there. I'm gonna be on that motherfucker. I'm gonna hook like crack. I'm gonna be on the air like hooked on crack. I'm gonna be listening to every song. But I appreciate you telling me all the artists and shit. Like I always do this shit after my streams. I go back through what y'all say and shit, and I go look up the songs and shit, and I listen to them. Then when next time I get on stream, I tell you, if you come in the next time I stream, I tell you like, bro, that song hard, or I ain't like that song. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing.
Tupac. And his most iconic pictures are with bandanas. Cube didn't wear them as frequently as Pac. Most hip-hop fans actually think that Pac started wearing those before him. The person depicted in the music video of Bow Down is definitely supposed to be Tupac from the Poetic Justice era, before he signed to Death Row and represented the West Coast. This was further proof for Tupac that he was taking shots at him, cause in the video he's bowing down while kissing Cube's ring to give him respect and reverence, while accepting that he's below him in hierarchy. That Cube is on top, the king and the boss, the Don of the West Coast, while Pac is just one of the people in the audience who admires and looks up to him. Someone who doesn't stand out from the masses in contrast to Cube. And Pac during that time was claiming the crown and the position for the #1 spot, not just on the West Coast but worldwide, for himself. On Hit 'Em Up, Pac wasn't just dissing the East Coast, but he was also making it seem like he is in charge of the West Coast, indirectly telling people on the West to holler at him, to bow down, show respect and love. And now Cube is coming out with a song called Bow Down, with a video that seems to be a direct response to Hit 'Em Up, showing Pac that he is the one that has to bow down and show respect. Cause Machiavelli the Don ain't the Don of the West Coast. The real Don is Ice Cube.
Allow me to introduce Machiavelli is gone. Lyrics like the Holy Quran. About to drop the bomb, I'm the West Coast Don. Big fish in a small pond.
It was really bad timing, cause the whole time Pac was waiting for Cube to reach out to him.
Nah, Ice Cube, I ain't gonna lie, but Tupac ate your ass. I ain't gonna lie. They compare both of them songs together.
The real Don is Ice Cube.
Allow me to introduce Machiavelli is gone. Lyrics like the Holy Quran. About to drop the bomb, I'm the West Coast Don. Big fish in a small pond.
It was really bad timing, cause the whole time Pac was waiting for Cube to reach out to him. He found it strange how he never showed him love or paid him a visit ever since he came out of prison. He was expecting him to call him and to holler at him, while Cube had no interest in doing so. He was actually expecting Pac to step to him, as he is the OG, the guy Pac used to admire this whole time. Why am I supposed to reach out to that little guy? He's a fan of me. And that's why in the video, the actor that's supposed to depict Tupac ain't dressed like
what they want us to say that, come on, rewind. Fuck no, never, me. You want me to wind back? What is a casket? What is it? What? Y'all miss it?
charge of the West Coast, indirectly telling people on the West to holler at him, to bow down, show respect and love. And now Cube is coming out with a song called Bow Down, with a video that seems to be a direct response to hit him up, showing Pac that he is the one that has to bow down and show respect. Cause Machiavelli the Don ain't the Don of the West Coast. The real Don is Ice Cube.
Allow me to introduce Machiavelli the Don. Lyrics like the Holy Quran. About to drop the bomb, I'm the West Coast Don. Big fish in a small pond.
It was really bad timing, cause the whole time Pac was waiting for Cube to reach out to him. He found it.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Oh, you like I ain't got no damn whistle. I need a damn whistle. Ref, penalty, 10 yards back. A diddlier. Nothing on but baby oil. Hell nah, to you. Where you come from? That nigga got a picture of Diddy too.
It's strange how he never showed him love or paid him a visit ever since he came out of prison. He was expecting him to call him and to holler at him, while Cube had no interest in doing so. He was actually expecting Pac to step to him, as he is the OG, the guy Pac used to admire this whole time. Why am I supposed to reach out to that little guy? He's a fan of me. And that's why in the video, the actor that's supposed to depict Tupac ain't dressed like he was dressing while he was on death row. The fake Pac was dressed like back in the day when he was still a little humble dude looking up to Cube, who was just trying to get his rapping and acting career going. That's how Cube remembered him, as a young cat who would ask Cube for favors.
They had beef over her right there. On the Dear Mama song. That's why they started beefing. Q got mad. They want her put her on the Dear Mama song, bro. And Tupac didn't like that shit. And it got back to Ice Cube that Tupac didn't like him for doing that shit. So they started beefing ever since.
Like when they did the song Last Words together for Tupac's sophomore album. Back then he was super respectful and humble, but Cube felt like Pac had become arrogant and ungrateful. The whole reason why he stopped talking to him, after finding out that Pac is mad about not being allowed to use a sample for Dear Mama. Their egos and pride made it impossible for them to work things out. That's why you never saw a Tupac and Ice Cube collaboration ever again. Cube became too competitive to work together with people that are on his level or even bigger than him in terms of success and status in the game. The people you saw Cube collaborating with at that point in time had a lower recognition value than him. He wanted to stand out. He preferred to create his own little group instead of working together with Death Row or Aftermath and reviving NWA. NWA could have once again revolutionized hip-hop forever. It was a powerful movement, but he purposefully chose rappers that can work under him and don't expect a large share of the profits they make, since Ice Cube is a superstar. Mac 10 and Dub C had a lower recognition value, so he could stick out on all his records and music videos while trying to become the face of West Coast hip-hop. He also got the Bloods and the Crips behind him with Mac 10 and Dub C on his team. Another reason why Cube stayed away from Tupac and also from Death Row is because they signed Tupac. He thought they were trying to more or less replace him, since the Helter Skelter album with Dre didn't work out and Cube didn't end up getting signed to Death Row. They signed Tupac instead as a replacement and wanted to create their own little NWA 2.0, but without Cube, replaced just like for the movie Poetic Justice. The two are actually quite similar in style due to Cube being such a big inspiration for him in the early days. And that's the reason why they ended up clashing. Two rapper-turned actors that are super lyrical, that are throwing up the W, and are defending the West Coast against rappers from all around the US. Cube thought Pac was just trying to create drama out of nowhere to get everybody's attention, by dissing the whole industry and becoming the headline of all the magazines. He thought Pac was just lying and creating false narratives to show the world that Cube is the one who's trying to start a beef, so that he has an excuse to diss him out of nowhere, bullying the industry while he's the most hyped rapper in the world, desperately trying to find a way to destroy his competition, even though there's enough room for everybody to coexist. And to summarize Pac's thoughts, he was under the impression that
he said Tupac wasn't in the streets. Everybody knows Cube was not in the streets. He just lived in the 112. Nobody in LA holds Cube on Pops. Whatever. Y'all out of town dudes are crazy. Crazy on me. What? We talking about the beef, homie. We ain't talking about on level wise. Hell, not Tupac's better than Ice Cube. That's facts. Album sales now, that's facts. But we see you later then. You said Ice Cube was right in NWA left, yeah, facts. And Dr. Dre shit, yeah. That's true.
Cube was trying to use the whole East-West conflict that the label Death Row reignited to his advantage. While for the first time ever,
my point is on this beef with Tupac, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and shit. The hate they did to Tupac, cause Tupac looked up to him, and he was just trying to work. He was just trying to work with both of them, and they did some shady shit, like the same shit that Biggie did. Ice Cube mad over a girl, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre didn't want him to come to Death Row, you know what I'm saying? Didn't want to do a song with him. I said that's some fucked up shit to do. I don't respect people like that, bro. Somebody said big fat. I want to know more about the Outlaws though. Like, why the Outlaws is, you know what I'm saying? Even after Tupac died, why they ain't take off? Like, they should have held the Thug Life shit. I mean, I'm not Thug Life, but the Outlaws should have been like bigger than what they is though. Even without Pac. Y'all saying Biggie didn't really do nothing? Now, only reason I think everybody say Biggie don't do nothing, but motherfucker, you come to a hotel and leave your guns at the hotel, then leave. I don't know, but you kind of suspect, bro. They're like me, you, Travis, and we gonna need to pick somebody up from the chat. We gonna say Tiny. We all at the hotel. We got a girl up here. You know what I'm saying? You doing our little thing. One of y'all got guns and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just gonna leave them at the hotel. I'm talking about not no hotel, Motel 6. I'm talking about one of them fancy hotels, like big time. Why you didn't take them guns with you? Gonna leave them in the hotel? And then it got a serial number, no serial number on that motherfucker. Hell nah. That sound like a setup to me, bro. Cause that don't make no sense. Cause if I know I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna take my gun with you. I'm gonna take my guns with me. Like, I don't understand that part. Then Biggie dropped that who shot you? Tupac in jail.
That shit. Westside niggas a thug like nigga.
You said Jay Prince? Who you gave bad deal to?
Claiming the title King of the West Coast for himself, indirectly implying that he's better than Pac. He felt like Cube was trying to use his formula and steal his shine and hype, after seeing that Pac's approach of making music resulted in higher record sales. Thought that Cube wanted a piece of the pie without actually showing love and giving props to the people who baked it, so to speak. The ones that were actually the protagonists of the Coastal War, meaning Pac, Suge, Snoop, Dre and the people from Death Row in general. He actually thought that Cube made his own version of Hit 'Em Up, was afraid that other artists on the West would do the same and create their own versions of Hit 'Em Up. Pac wanted to prevent people from riding his wave and stealing his shine. This is my lane, nobody riding this wave except me and my team. That was Pac's whole point.
I dig Ice Cube. I looked up to him. But because I looked up to him and I studied his style, mastered his shit, I know what he's doing is wrong. He's a shit ain't selling, so now he's going on the water shit, and he's using us as the gas. He just dropped this shit called Badass. And if you listen to it, you can see he heard Hit 'Em Up and was like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. Why he wasn't making a badass when I was in jail? That's what I mean. That's wrong. So now that's wrong. And I'm not going to let that happen, because then that would make me obsolete. If I let him come back and take, you can't have this. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that.
The interview took place on August 24th, 1996, just 2 weeks before he got shot in Las Vegas. He didn't have the chance to speak to Cube again, who on the other hand didn't find out about Pac's comments until years later. Pac recorded less than a dozen songs after doing this interview.
Y'all want me to do the Dr. Dre next? I'll do the Tupac versus Dr. Dre next. If y'all want me to, let me know.
And even though diss records were recorded in those last 2 weeks, none of them addressed Cube or contained subliminal disses against him. He might have wanted to sit back and watch him make his next move, to see if they were really trying to come at him, jack his style, steal his shine, and to find out if Cube really had some type of problem with him. After meeting Nas at the '96 MTV Music Awards on September 4th, Pac told Suge that he wanted to take out some of the disses aimed at Nas and replace them with lines against somebody else who deserved them. Unfortunately, Pac never had a chance to edit the album, as he got shot in Vegas just 3 daes later. I broke this down in one of my videos. Make sure to check it out.
I make sure I do Tupac versus Dr. Dre next, and I'm show y'all why I don't like Dr. Dre. Y'all already know I don't like Ice Cube now, but I'm gonna do Dr. Dre.
It was rumored that he wanted to unleash multiple diss tracks aimed at Cube. He was going to shift all his attention away from Biggie and put it towards Cube, until enough damage is done to move on to a different artist. He wanted to crush Cube's plans and his whole Westside Connection, to make sure that everybody on the West and on the East knows who's in charge. He had already damaged Biggie, the #1 rapper on the East. And that's why he wasn't the main focus on the Machiavelli album. Now it was time for Cube, the quote-unquote West Coast Dawn. He was waiting for his next move. The Westside Connection album Bow Down was just about to drop. Actually came out on October 22nd, a month after Tupac's death. He wanted to see what they had to say and counter it with not only better music, but also with harder disses. Unfortunately, the shooting in Vegas ruined those plans, and we never got to see how their beef would have turned out. Before he passed, Pac went and told his crew, the Outlaws, about his issues with Cube, and explained them that they were coming for him on the song Bow Down. So the Outlaws were prepared to continue their war against Cube and the Westside Connection, held a grudge against him even after Pac passed. On November 20th, just 2 months after Tupac's death, Cube came to Washington, D.C. and did an interview on BET Teen Summit, in which he criticized Tupac when asked about the East Coast-West Coast war. He said that no matter how rich or broke you are, you can't just do anything you want to do, cause sometimes it catches up to you. Cube thought that Pac went too far with his diss song Hit 'Em Up, that he shouldn't have talked about Biggie's wife. He should have focused on Biggie instead. He also said that his death should be a lesson for all of us. Ice Cube and Mac 10 sent a strong message to the music industry and
I said, no Vaseline can't beat Hit 'Em Up, bro. Hit 'Em Up had everybody mad, bro. Everybody took that shit seriously. Hit 'Em Up came out. The motherfucker wanna kill you over Hit 'Em Up, bro. The Southsides, the Diddy, Biggie. Yeah, that nigga had the whole fucking coast shook. Hit 'Em Up, bro. And he was just talking to really talking to damn Biggie, to be honest. Everybody else wanna got involved in that beef.
Hip-hop fans, and said that it was time for a ceasefire in the East Coast West Coast hip-hop wars, even though they were participating in it on their album. Cube used Tupac as a cautionary tale of what could happen if beef was taken too far. He did this in numerous interviews. Cube was then accused of being a hypocrite and of stealing Tupac's ad-lib on the song Bomb First from the Don Illuminati 7 Day Theory album, which was released on November 5th that year. Ice Cube took that and used.
Oh my God, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass.
I always wonder why Ice Cube used to say that shit. Like, when I was growing up, I used to hear that shit. He was like, yeah. I was like, why you be saying it? Now I know why you say that shit. Damn, that crazy right there. Yeah, hold on, we gonna wind that shit bad.
Tupac's ad-lib on the song Bomb First from the Don Illuminati 7 Day Theory album, which was released on November 5th that year. Ice Cube took that and used it on the song We Clubbin' in 1997. And from that point on, he used it on almost every single one of his albums. It became Cube's most iconic ad-lib ever, even though he got it from Tupac. Napoleon from the Outlaws continued the beef even after Pac passed. In 1999, he was invited by the producer One Eye to come do a song with Cube, to bury the hatchet, so to speak. One Eye ended up producing several tracks on the album War and Peace Volume 2, the Peace Disc. The one that Napoleon was supposed to rap on was the lead single You Can Do It, which became one of the hits on the album. The producer was cool with both, Cube and Napoleon, was creating beats for them. When working on Cube's new album, he offered Napoleon to come over and to get on one of the tracks. So he went to the studio and started drinking. Then he thought back and remembered how Tupac was bothered by the song Bow Down, and how he called himself the West Coast Don, shortly after Pac called himself Machiavelli the Don on his album All Eyes on Me. Again, Cube was calling himself the Don ever since they formed Westside Connection, which was in 1995 before Tupac came out of prison and created his alias Machiavelli the Don. But calling yourself the Don of the West Coast instead of just the Don made it seem like he was putting himself above Pac. So Napoleon started to get upset, wanted to know why Cube and Pac were beefing, and why Cube was trying to diss him. He was super loyal and didn't even think about the consequences, that him confronting Cube would negatively affect his career by losing the chance of being on a track with him. Cause Cube was one of Napoleon's favorite rappers growing up, and was selling more units than the Outlaws could sell on their own, meaning without Pac. Just like Tupac, he originally had a lot of love and admiration for him. But when they met, Napoleon approached him and asked him if he dissed Tupac. Yo Cube, man, let me holler at you. On this song you said that you're the West Coast Don, man. Was you trying to talk about Pac? Man, it looked like you was dissing Pac, man. Was you dissing Pac? His tone was kinda harsh and serious. Cube was shocked. Thought they just invited him as a guest to come do a song with him, and now he's picking a fight out of nowhere. Napoleon was hot-headed, and it seemed like he was verbally attacking Cube, who then said, "Nah, I wasn't talking about Tupac. and then walked out the room. Napoleon waited for like a half an hour to 40 minutes and Cube didn't come back. So he just left without finishing the song. The next day, the producer One Eye called him and was upset, asking Napoleon,
hey, you talk about shit up. We gonna go to Dr. Dre. Y'all ever wanna watch on YouTube? You got nothing to watch. Make sure y'all go to Hip Hop Universe. I'm gonna go to this channel. That's why I mainly go to. React with y'all. He mostly do all hip hop. Do his videos. Like he's who's the best top 10 rappers? Top 50 best rappers of all time. All that we already did the DMX one. Then we got Nas versus Mobb Deep. I think I do Nas versus Mobb Deep. I don't think I did that one yet. I don't think I did Nas versus Mobb Deep. I ain't did that one, but we had did Big Pun. Jay-Z versus Mobb Deep, we did that one. Shit like that. Y'all wanna make sure y'all go check out his channel. There's a Dr. Dre bitch ass. There you go.
time is the guy that
no matter how dope he is, and Dre's one of my heroes in the music business, but I was like, no matter how dope he is, if he's not down for his homeboy, then I don't want to be a part of him. I don't want to be around him or nothing.
As far as Dr. Dre goes, been there, done that, through with it.
I've seen him come, I've watched him go, watched him rise, witnessed it and watched him blow.
You know, you can't find somebody that can really rhyme, get in the studio and get down, and also be a good actor. You know, that's rare.
The strangest things can happen for rapping when get wrapped up in image and acting.
Like this. I'm on some MOB shit. I'm on red rag. How these motherfuckers, they saying all these damn shit about Tupac when he died, but y'all wasn't doing that shit. He was like, dude, what the fuck? So, bam, they put a red rag on Pop.
You can try to play that gangster this shit, but we MOB for I'm real. Get capped up and wrapped in plastic, zipped up in bags when it happens, that's it.
What he was saying.
God damn, Tupac, you ain't had doing like that to me. Yeah, I mean this shit. I heard this shit. Hold on now. What you say? Hold on, I gotta go back. Got what I did, bet.
Tupac versus Dr.
Dre. Nah, we going back. Hell nah. Damn, I can't go back. I gotta start all the way over.
What he was saying about me is all.
No matter how dope he is, and Dre's one of my heroes in the music business, but I was like, no matter how dope he is, if he's not down for his homeboy, then I don't want to be a part of him. I don't want to be around him or nothing.
As far as Dr. Dre goes, been there, done that, through with it.
I've seen him come, I've watched him go, watched him rise, witnessed it and watched him blow.
You know, you can't find somebody that can really rhyme, get in the studio and get down, and also be a good actor. You know, that's rare.
The strangest things can happen for rapping when get wrapped up in image and acting.
Like this. I'm on some MOB shit. Red rag. So, bam, they put a red rag on Pop.
You can try to play that gangster this shit, but we MOB for I'm real. Get capped up and wrapped in plastic, zipped up in bags when it happens, that's it.
What he was saying about me is all hype because he knows absolutely nothing about me except what he hears and reads.
You live in fantasies, I reject your deposit. We should have Drake punk, man. Now we out of the closet. Sit back and watch all these clowns out here riffing and beefing about this issue. Screaming Compton, but you can't return. You ain't heard brothers pissed cause you switched and escaped to the birds. I moved out of the hood for good, you blame me?
You put out negative energy, it's going to come back to you, period. Live by the gun, die by the gun.
But it's my life or your life, and I'm born first. It's either my life or your life, and I ain't leaving. I like breathing.
Tupac versus Dr. Dre, a beef that took place in the mid-90s and can be best described as an idols become rivals type of relationship, merged with betrayal / two groups going their separate ways after working together. They met in 1990. when Pac was on tour with Digital Underground and Dre was a part of NWA. Pac kept asking him for beats, telling him that he wants to go solo. But Dre didn't really take him seriously, as he was a nobody at this point, and as Dre kept his beats for himself and his crew. Almost every track Dre produced became a banger, so he had no reason to give away his beats. Dre never reached out to him as he wasn't really interested in working with him. Pac was a huge fan of him, but the two never really developed a real friendship. They would see each other every now and then, but didn't collaborate until years later. In early '92, Dre left Ruthless Records and his group NWA to create his own label with a man named Suge Knight. Pac had already dropped his debut album Tupacalypse Now and played in the movie Juice a year prior. His good friend Tretch from Naughty by Nature was in it as well. He was very close with ex-NWA member Eazy-E, who became Dr. Dre's biggest rival after he went to Death Row. Pac had already known him since 1990. He idolized him even more than Dr. Dre. Tretch would later ghostwrite for Eazy-E, and the three started hanging out together. Pac also got close with the group
I didn't know that. I thought Eazy wrote all his shit.
Above the Law, which was signed to Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records. Pac wanted Eazy-E to sign him as well. He was having difficulties with his second album at the time. It was supposed to be called Black Starry Night at first. He even recorded an intro with that same title, in which he's shouting out above the law. This intro was scrapped, became an interlude, and just like all the other songs he had recorded at that time, it was released posthumously in 1997 on the album Are You Still Down, Remember Me. While working on Black Starry Night in 1992, the people from Interscope Records told him to change it. Then, as the recording process went on over the next few months, Pac decided to change the name to Troublesome 21. He was adding and removing songs every time he went to the studio. The tracklist
What a troublesome one. Strictly for my ends, the streets are Death Row. Death Row. I get around Digital Underground. Holla if you hear me. Don't call me a B. Papa's theme. So sorry. He scratched that one out. Cook niggas too. What's going on? Still don't give a fuck. I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. Number 4. Number 5 is nothing but love. 6 is troublesome. I love troublesome. That my shit. La 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 la. Number 7 is keep your head up. All songs written by Tupac Shakur, produced. Damn, I could have read this shit right here. I'm reading over there in the damn paper.
Of the final version of the Troublesome 21 album was entirely different from the actual sophomore album that came out, because Troublesome 21 was scrapped by Time Warner due to the outcry in the media over the lyrical content. Pac was really having difficulties with his career at the time. The censorship was one of the reasons why he tried to find a new label. He had a problem with Interscope telling him what to say and what not to say in his lyrics. He thought there was no censorship on labels like Ruthless Records and Death Row. That's why he tried to reach out to them, especially to Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records. He thought that was the best option at the time, cause he was already cool with Above the Law and Eazy-E, who again were the enemies of Dre and Death Row Records. Pac more or less tried to prove Eazy-E his loyalty and convince him that he'll be—
Every time I see this shit easy, I be wanting to play San Andreas so damn bad. I might have to download the game tomorrow. I might play San Andreas. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all might see me streaming tomorrow. I'm talking about early in the morning type shit. Playing goddamn GTA San Andreas just to see Ryder in that motherfucker.
a great addition to the label. He did a song with Above the Law called Call It What You Want. They also did a music video together in which Eazy-E was featured. That wasn't the first time Eazy appeared in a music video with Tupac. In 1990, Dre and E made a cameo appearance in the music video for the song Same Song. That was the first single Tupac was on. Between 1992 and 1993, Tupac and Above the Law performed the song Call It What You Want on different shows in LA. Pac got to hang out with the entire Ruthless crew, including Eazy-E. They would always talk bad about Dr. Dre and Death Row Records. Eazy-E was trying to motivate Tupac to go at Dr. Dre and his crew. Pac was a hothead and extremely loyal. He would always treat the rivals of his friends as his own enemies. In December 92, Dr. Dre dissed Eazy-E and the label Ruthless Records on the song Dre Day off the album The Chronic. Eazy-E asked Pac if he would diss Dre for him in exchange for him getting signed to Ruthless Records. And Pac said yes, he was ready. He was already in F Dre mode. And he was looking for people to get back at Dre and to counter the diss track Dre Day. One day when Tupac, Eazy-E, Above the Law and Money B from Digital Underground were at a show in LA and were getting ready to perform on stage, somebody told them that the people from Death Row were in the same building. There was a little tension in the air and everybody thought that it would come to a fight, since the situation was so heated. Eazy-E was calm and relaxed and said, "If something happens, I got my thing." He pulled out his gun and was ready. Pac then pulled out a gun too, saying, "Yeah, I got my gun too," as if he's ready to shoot at the people from Death Row if it comes to a fight. The elevator doors open and they make eye contact with rapper and producer Warren G, who's actually Dr. Dre's stepbrother. But he wasn't really close with him back then. He was actually closer to Above the Law, who he was working with early on in his career. Everybody had pulled out their guns because they expected to see Dre, but it was Warren G, so it didn't come to a fight. Warren G wasn't even the type to fight and argue with people. They exchanged words and everything was cool. Pac and Eazy-E had a falling out due to multiple reasons. The first being Pac deciding to record a song with Ice Cube called Last Words for his sophomore album, which finally got released on February 16th, 1993 under a new name, after scrapping multiple songs and replacing them with new ones. Ice Cube was still an enemy of Ruthless Records and Eazy-E. Not only did he destroy NWA with his diss track No Vaseline, but E's homies from Above the Law had a fistfight with Cube and his crew, the Lynch Mob, in 1991. Eazy-E was actually working on a diss EP aimed at Cube, similar to the one he made for Dre, which is called It's On Dr. Dre 187 Killer. It came out on October 19th, 1993, and Cube was supposed to get dissed on a separate EP. Cube later even agreed to do an entire album called Helter Skelter with Dr. Dre, dissing Eazy-E. So yeah, E was disappointed by Pac doing a song with him. And the second reason why E didn't really want to mess with Pac anymore was because he was starting to get too close with the people from Death Row. And again, Dre and Eazy were enemies. Everyone on both labels was in war mode. So why would he try to work with or get close to not just one, but two of his enemies in the middle of a rap beef? After telling him that he would diss them, Dre dissed E on one of—
I ain't gonna lie, Eazy would've got Tupac with him. Shit. There would be no more Death Row. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg would've been no. Damn. Yeah, I wanna hear both of them on one song though. That shit be dope. I wish they had a song together. Do they got a song together, y'all? Eazy and Tupac. Damn. I know they got one that's made up. Like I forgot what the song called. On YouTube. On the 50. Oh, it's called on the 50. On the 50 beat, 50 Cent beat. Damn, man.
The most iconic battle records ever. And Cube did the same on No Vaseline a year prior. And Pac was trying to get close with both of them, even though he was yelling F Dre when E and Pac were hanging out together. So E was obviously confused and disappointed. Pac just wanted to take his career to the next level. He felt like Interscope was holding him back. So he tried to reach out and get close to all the giants in the industry. He tried to take every opportunity that came his way to finally blow up. He didn't even think that Eazy-E would take offense to it. Pac got close with Death Row around the time he started working on his third album, which was in 1993. He first met Snoop Dogg on July 21st, 1993, at the premiere for the movie Poetic Justice, which he played in a year prior. Turns out that the people from Death Row already had him on their radar at the time. Pac then started to hang out with Snoop Dogg, and then got introduced to the label boss Suge Knight, who offered him a record deal. They wanted to make a deal with Interscope and get all the music they recorded for Pac's third album and put it out on the label Death Row. Like mentioned earlier, Interscope was already causing trouble and refusing to put out Pac's music the way he wanted it to be, mainly because of his lyrical content, which they thought was too violent and controversial, especially his songs about crooked cops. They tried to censor him. Pac always wanted to be on Ruthless, but they weren't really making much of an effort to get him on their label. Eazy-E at the time had linked up with the rappers BG Knockout and Gangsta Draysta, so he didn't need a guy like Pac anymore to go at Dre. Gangsta Draysta and BG Knockout were taking care of that, so Ruthless Records wasn't really interested anymore. With Death Row, it was the other way around. They were the ones that reached out to Pac and offered him a record deal.
And I don't even picture myself to be like Dre or whatever. I just picture myself to be like me. You know, I would be putting out underground tapes if nobody ever bought my records, and I was selling up to whereas I can keep putting out underground tapes for now. It's cool though. You know, we just signed with Death Row. That's gonna be cool too. They're gonna be doing my next album. It's all cool. They came to me and said, "Do you want to work with the Row?" And I said, "Hell yeah."
You two, we don't condone gun violence and you know what I'm saying, things of that nature.
Dre want to do some shit on my music. The next album.
You gonna zoom in on the shit? Hold on, y'all skip this shit. They got me one time with this shit, and you ain't gonna get me again, bitch. Damn, I went all the way back to
Signed to Death Row was because of the disagreements he had with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg and the Dogg Pound back in autumn '93. Pac had just finished recording his third album, which he called Thug Style, or Thug for Life. This was before he decided to put out a group project called Thug Life. A lot of the songs on the unreleased album Thug Style came out posthumously in 1997 on the album Are You Still Down Remember Me, which is a double album containing some of the unreleased songs he originally intended for his second album, Black Starry Nights, and also his third album, Thug Style. Two projects that got scrapped and replaced by other albums. The album Thug Style was originally scheduled for an early '94 release. He had songs on there like Thug Style, Thug for Life, Is It Cool to F, and Time to Get My Drink On. Pac had handed in the final version of the project to Interscope, so that they can make copies of it and sell it in early '94. Somebody from Interscope then, for whatever reason, gave copies of the Thug Style album to Dr. Dre, Shook, Snoop and the Dogg Pound. Like mentioned earlier, there were plans of them signing Tupac to their label, so that might have been one of the reasons why they got copies in advance, more than half a year before the official release. Because this incident happened late summer, early autumn '93. When they were still working on Snoop's debut album, which ended up being Doggy Style. Doggy Style and Thug Style. Now who copied whom? The singer Natasha Walker did the background vocals on Tupac's song Is It Cool to F, which again was on the Thug Style album. And she confirmed that Snoop and the people from Death Row were biting Tupac. She walked in on Corrupt and Daz Dillinger of the group The Dogg Pound, which was signed to Death Row at the time, while they were listening to Tupac's upcoming album Thug Style. They had a copy of that album and were studying it, without Pac knowing about it. Listening to it during the recording sessions of Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style album.
I don't want to say, I don't hear it no more. Everybody cop Tupac, you know what I'm saying? That's why all their careers went down to me, in my opinion. When Tupac died, Westside, y'all went all the way down.
With Dre in the studio stealing ideas, cause he was the one producing the album. The singer Natasha Walker was confused, because Tupac didn't allow her to get a copy of the album yet. He feared that it would leak and be all over the place. So that's why he didn't want anyone who was on the album to have copies of it. But Interscope, for whatever reason, gave several artists on Death Row copies of the album. And according to Natasha Walker and the rapper Swoop G, they studied that album and used some of the rhymes, beats, slangs and ideas on Doggy Style, which came out later that year on November 23rd, before the planned release date of the album Thug Style, meaning Snoop Dogg would come out with Pac's ideas before him, making it seem like Pac is the one who drew inspiration from Snoop, even though it was the other way around. And nobody wanted to be labeled a biter back then, especially when you're the one who came up with all the ideas, and people try to use them before you. Pac had a line on MC Breed's song Gotta Get Mine, in which he said, I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind, which Snoop then copied on his hit single Gin and Juice off the upcoming album Doggy Style.
I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind. Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. You gotta get yours, but fool, I gotta get mine. See, every play.
No, you fucking lying. I ain't. Stop the cap. Ooh. Nobody's not the reason no more. I don't want to hear no more. I don't even want to hear no more. I ain't gonna lie. They beat my boy style, man. What's up? How you doing? God, I don't know. We gonna wind that bad shit. I ain't gonna lie. And I ain't never heard the album though. I ain't never listened to a Snoop Dogg album.
The album Doggy Style went to sell over 806,000 units in the first week alone, while Pac, with his second album that came out in the same year, only sold 38,000 units. Snoop sold over 25 times more records than him, while he's quote-unquote biting him. So people try to use them before you. Pac had a line on MC Breed's song Gotta Get Mine, in which he said, I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind, which Snoop then copied on his hit single Gin and Juice off the upcoming album Doggy Style.
I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind. Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. You gotta get yours, but fool, I gotta get mine. See, everything is fine.
See, I don't mind. I mean, biting. I don't mind you biting, but like, man, y'all gotta put give people credit where they do. Like some of these songs y'all blew up off was credits from Tupac. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing.
Gin and Juice is widely regarded as Snoop Dogg's best song.
See?
The album Doggy Style went to sell over 806,000 units in the first week alone, while Pac, with his second album that came out in the same year, only sold 38,000 units. Snoop sold over 25 times more records than him, while he's quote-unquote biting him. So of course Tupac was mad about it. They even stole the beat for G's and Hustlers off Snoop's album from Pac's song Lie to Kick It, which was produced by Warren G and recorded for the Thug Style album.
You ain't got to lie to kick it to the tricks. This is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. This is for the hustlers, now back to the G's.
Pac's song also features the rapper Richie Rich.
My bad, somebody who describe. Appreciate you subscribing.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
Welcome to the Thug Life family.
Who was actually the first person to use that sample, back when he dropped the song Snitches and B with his group 415.
Called a brother one day getting out of a cop car. I know there's more to come, but the few that have so far.
Both Warren G and Dr. Dre remade the beat that Richie Rich had in 1990. DJ Daryl, who was the producer of the group, was the first person to flip that sample. Tupac and Warren G wanted to do a tribute for them. That's why Warren G remade the beat so that Richie Rich can once again rap on the same beat, but this time with Tupac. The group 415 had a huge impact on rappers from the Bay Area. Between the late 80s and early 90s, Tupac lived in Oakland, so he was a huge fan of them, just like Warren G. But Richie Rich was also his homie. There's footage of them together in the studio. This was before Dr. Dre copied that beat. Due to Snoop, the Dogg Pound and Dr. Dre having a copy of Pac's album before its official release, they were able to listen to it and steal ideas from it. Dr. Dre stole his stepbrother Warren G's beats by flipping the sample the same way he did, but without telling them anything about it. Pac at this point was still trying to work out a deal with Death Row, but all eyes were on Snoop. He was the main priority on the label. So in 1993, they soaked up everything Pac had to offer at that time and gave it to Snoop, which of course infuriated him and made Pac not want to join Death Row anymore. Pac felt like everybody was stealing his ideas. Not only Dre and the people from Death Row, but also the people on Bad Boy. Puffy somehow got his hands on the album as well. And they heard Tupac's Time to Get My Drink On, which they used for Biggie's Ready to Die album. It came out a year later on September 13th,
Everybody asks who number one hip hop artist. Number one, Tupac. Tupac. That's why we still talking about it 30 years later. You know what I'm saying? That don't make no damn sense.
1994. Chucky Thompson and Puff Daddy used the same sample from the Isley Brothers for Biggie's hit record Big Papa, during a time when Pac was having difficulties with Death Row. I will cover Tupac's beef with Biggie in the next video, so stay tuned. Pac didn't want to sound like Snoop or Biggie, so he decided to scrap the whole album and start from scratch. Most of the songs on there didn't get released until after his death. For him,
Tupac, you know I'm with you, twin. You know what I'm saying? People try to act like you crazy, you goddamn, you this dick, like you just goddamn. You know what I'm saying? We know true. You know what I'm saying? Us real Tupac fans know true. You know what I'm saying? We ride with you. You know what I'm saying?
Felt like Death Row was trying to exploit and bully him. Because every time he had an idea, the people from Death Row were looking at him like a pack of hungry wolves that are ready to bite and rip off everything they can without Pac being able to do anything about it. So he felt betrayed and was fuming when Natasha Walker told him about it. He couldn't believe it. Snoop and the people from Death Row didn't necessarily have bad intentions. They just loved Pac's music and his style overall. But Snoop, just like Biggie and everyone else, wanted to put out the best.
Nah, if y'all love my style that much, y'all should put me on the album. Or put me on Snoop Dogg album. You know what I'm saying? Biggie. Y'all should put me on the Biggie album. Y'all should do the feature or something. Pay homage, man, something. Y'all just want to take my stuff? Hell nah, twin.
Thug like, don't forget that shit. What's that nigga? Thug like, nigga?
Easy Judas quit. Quiet potential.
Music possible and make sure that he'll blow up. Instead of dropping a half-assed album that people quickly forget about due to strong competition on the East Coast, the people from Death Row wanted to put everything the West Coast had to offer at that time into one album, by spying on other West Coast artists to improve their music. They wanted the West Coast to take over and leave the East Coast behind, even though New York is the mecca of hip-hop. The objective was to leave a mark on the world and to shake up the game with every album, so that everybody remembers the names Dr. Dre, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and the Dogg Pound. They wanted to replace their rivals, Ruthless Records, as the face of West Coast hip-hop. And for that, they needed to drop more classic albums like The Chronic. They wanted to prove to Eazy-E that they're better off without him, by selling more on Death Row than on Ruthless Records. So that's why they were spying on Pac, who was just about to blow up, to use some of his momentum for themselves so that they're the biggest thing in hip-hop. Pac scrapped the entire Thug Style album and decided to work on the Thug Life Group album instead. But he didn't want to release it on Death Row, as he felt like they were just trying to waste his time by making empty promises and screwing him over. Not because they wanted to harm him, but they were only thinking about themselves. They were actually trying to be cool with Pac, the whole time. Wanted to get even by featuring him on soundtracks and helping him financially. But Pac was annoyed by that, and thought that he'll just continue doing his own thing, without Dr. Dre and Death Row. He actually thought of working things out with Eazy-E, and getting him to sign the group Thug Life to Ruthless Records. In late '93, Eazy-E signed the group Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah! Give me a hell yeah! Give me a hell yeah!
I'm gonna get that rock, man. I need to go back and get the rock. If you smell with the rock is cookie, I want to get this shit. They're my favorite wrestler.
Since Sim and his manager Jerry Heller thought that it would turn out to be a highly lucrative deal, they got rid of a lot of the older artists on that label and wanted to focus on Eazy-E's solo career and also on Bone Thugs and Harmony. At this point in time, Pac was still trying to put together not only his third album, but also a group album with Thug Life. Like mentioned earlier, they created multiple versions between 1993 and 1994, which either got rejected by Interscope or scrapped by Tupac himself. But until early 94, Pac would reach out to Eazy-E in hope that he could get himself a deal, so that Thug Life gets signed to the label, and that Eazy-E puts an end to the censorship of Pac's music, because he felt like Interscope was holding him back, that he can't express himself the way he wants. Again, Pac wanted to join the label that was repeatedly dissing Death Row and Dr. Dre, promising Eazy-E that he would help him out and diss them as well. He sent him one of the earlier versions of the Thug Life album, which E and his girlfriend Tomika Woods listened to. Eazy-E's girlfriend later became the CEO of the company. She told Eazy-E that she doesn't like Tupac's music, and that Bone Thugs and Harmony is better, that Bone Thugs is a better group than Thug Life. During those days, Pac also had a lot of negative press.
Stop the cap.
And drama surrounding him, especially the Ayanna Jackson assault case, which could get him some jail time. Why would you sign a guy who's about to go to prison? That's what they thought. Eazy-E's manager Jerry Heller thought that Pac would only cause trouble, and that signing him would only be a waste of money. According to Eazy-E's then girlfriend Tomika Woods, Pac went to E's house, knocked on the door, and asked him to sign him. But Eazy-E said no and closed the door. That was their last conversation. Pac got mad when he heard Bone Thugs and Harmony for the first time, and thought that they were biting him. Two groups with the word thug in their name, Bone Thugs and Harmony and Thug Life.
I know people looking on TV, they going, wait a minute, didn't I already hear a group called Thug something? I already heard about some kind of thug something on TV. Who is Thug Life? This is the original. We are the original thugs. I want it to be real again.
After that, there were no plans of working with Ruthless Records. But in 1994, the people from Death Row kept reaching out to him and wanted to put his music on movie soundtracks. This was not only an opportunity for him to get free promo, but he would also get paid for the individual songs instead of releasing an entire album on the label. So he would work with Death Row without being signed to that label. This way he could continue releasing albums on Interscope while occasionally working with Death Row as a side hustle, cause he wasn't really trusting them after they sabotaged his third album. According to his family, Tupac didn't really want to sign to Death Row anymore in 1994. So the plans they had in 93 of him joining the label were a thing of the past now. Only work he did for Death Row in 94 was him handing in a couple of songs and then getting paid for them by Suge Knight. He gave them the songs Pour Out a Little Liquor, Pain, and Loyal to the Game for the Above the Rim soundtrack, which was released on March 22nd, 1994. 7 days prior to the release of the soundtrack, meaning on March 15th, Pac went to the Above the Rim release party and met Dre, Snoop, The Dog Pound, The Lady of Rage, and Jewel from Death Row. Pac then
I can't call her no lady. She always gonna be Baby D to me. I don't give a damn. Nobody say she always be Baby D to me. They goddamn Baby D.
And continued to work on the group album Thug Life, and also on his third studio album, while facing assault charges which could get him locked up for a couple of years. He wanted to record as much music as possible in
Look how lying there. Lying bitch. Oh shit, damn, I'm scared all the way back. Doing too much. I forgot what the fuck I was at.
His music was a reflection of his life, and he went through many ups and downs in a very short Coast, who won awards that night, were A Tribe Called Quest, the Wu-Tang Clan, and KRS-One, fighting him. Two groups with the word thug in their name, Bone Thugs and Harmony and Thug Life.
I know people looking on TV, they going, wait a minute, didn't I already hear a group called Thug something?
I already heard about some thuggish, some kind of thug, something on TV. Who is Thug Life? But this the original. We are the original thugs. I want it to be real again.
After that, there were no plans of working with Ruthless Records. But in 1994, the people from Death Row kept reaching out to him and wanted to put his music on movie soundtracks. This was not only an opportunity for him to get free promo, but he would also get paid for the individual songs instead of releasing an entire album on the label. So he would work with Death Row without being signed to that label. This way he could continue releasing albums on Interscope while occasionally working with Death Row as a side hustle. Cause he wasn't really trusting them after they sabotaged his third album. According to his family, Tupac didn't really want to sign to Death Row anymore in 1994. So the plans they had in 93 of him joining the label were a thing of the past now. Only work he did for Death Row in 94 was him handing in a couple of songs and then getting paid for them by Suge Knight. He gave them the songs Pour Out a Little Liquor, Pain, and Loyal to the Game for the Above the Rim soundtrack.
So if he didn't get that assault charge, and only way he can get out of jail is with Suge, I think he would never sign with Death Row. What y'all think?
Which was released on March 22nd, 1994. 7 days prior to the release of the soundtrack, meaning on March 15th, Pac went to the Above the Rim release party and met Dre, Snoop, the Dog Pound, the Lady of Ray.
I can't call her no Lady Ray. That Baby D. That Baby D.
H and Jewel from Death Row. Pac then continued to work on the group album Thug Life, and also on his third studio album, while facing assault charges which could get him locked up for a couple of years. He wanted to record as much music as possible, in fear that he won't be able to release music and make money while he's locked up. On April 25th, 1994, both Tupac and Dr. Dre attended the 94 Source Awards in New York. Dre and Snoop won most of the awards that night, but they had a feeling that the people from the East Coast had a problem with them. Because the only rappers from the East Coast who won awards that night were A Tribe Called Quest, the Wu-Tang Clan, and KRS-One. The rappers on the West Coast, however, won 7 awards in total. 3 for Dr. Dre, 2 for Snoop, 1 for MC8, and 1 for Ice Cube. So rap fans from New York were upset that the West Coast took over. They were outshining the rappers on the East Coast. Like, for example, the New York rap group...
If Tupac was still alive to today, y'all think he'd be bigger than Michael Jackson? He said exactly, bro. Y'all think he'd be, I think he was already up there with, in my opinion, I think Tupac was already up there with Michael Jackson. I ain't gonna lie. But y'all think he'd be bigger than Michael Jackson?
Which was nominated in 5 categories, but they didn't win in any of them, even though they were the most hyped rap group at that point in time. I mean, they went platinum in just 7 months. Not even the Wu-Tang Clan was selling that much. The audience, which was of course filled with New Yorkers, had a problem with the West Coast winning more awards than the people from the East Coast, so they started booing them. And on top of that, when the New York rap group A Tribe Called Quest won the award for Best Artist of the Year in the group category and then attempted to hold a speech giving props to the pioneers of hip-hop, Tupac all of a sudden interrupted them by rushing the stage with like 100 people rapping the song Out on Bail in front of them, while they were in the middle of their speech. The whole time A Tribe Called Quest was standing there in shock, not knowing what to do for like 3 minutes straight. As if they are held hostage by a group of thugs. Tupac had a super aggressive delivery during that performance, yelling Thug Life and F y'all mother effers before throwing away the microphone. As if he caused chaos and sabotaged the show intentionally, to scare and humble A Tribe Called Quest and the people from the East Coast, showing them that he doesn't respect them. Q-Tip supposedly cried when that happened. But Pac didn't do it on purpose. His music started playing, so he got on stage thinking it's time to perform. There was a heated back and forth behind the scenes between rappers from the East Coast and from the West Coast. and Tupac had to explain himself because everybody thought that he did it on purpose. He met Dre there too, and Dre was annoyed by how people from the East Coast treated them. So when he got back to LA, he recorded the intro to
I heard he had a fight. So that's true. He had a fight with Michael Jackson. Y'all think Michael Jackson got them hands? Hold on now. He do got a song called Beat It though. You know what I'm saying? And Bad. Y'all think Michael Jackson got them hands? Y'all say head to head? Damn, that's a tough one right there. I wish they did a song together though. Michael Jackson, Tupac. Oh, that business. Yeah. I wish they did a song together. I think Biggie and Michael Jackson did a song together. But I wish Tupac and Michael Jackson did a song together. I don't think Michael liked that look, all that thudders and shit like that.
the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, in which he was more or less dissing the East Coast. He also gave Tupac's group Thug Life a shout-out, after that whole incident with A Tribe Called Quest. Death Row still wanted to sign him.
Yo, what's up? This is Dr. Dre. And before we get into this album, there's a few things I gotta say. Now, I just got a tape of the 1994 Source Music.
I want to say this. I appreciate that.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
This nigga's scared.
I gotta get another. Hold on. Let me go get one real quick for y'all who subscribe to my channel. I gotta give me a sound. I need another one.
Thug like, I don't see that shit. Westside needs a thug like nigga.
I do got one. Oh Lord, they want to play the whole song.
Another one.
No motherfucker.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat.
I let him play that motherfucker. Damn, I need one without the I'm about to find that one. Real. I need to find one without the music in the background. Hold on. Let me find the sound real quick. Cause I want to play a Tupac song when y'all come in, like when y'all comment in the chat. Cause all that copyright shit be fucking me up.
Thug like, I don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug like nigga.
Damn, I forgot what my shit called. Dash. Oh, shit, I ain't mean to go to AI. I want to get a new one because I've been doing a Thug Life one for a minute. Bro, I can't find one. Oh my god. I'm gonna start over. Okay, we got 100. What we got? We need a new one. I don't see no Tupac.
Some people want to be the boss.
The fuck? Nah, they ain't one.
Thug like, I don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug like nigga.
Man, I did miss out, man. I'm mad I missed out. How you doing, Kenny? You said Tupac was the greatest songwriter? Hell yeah. His pops used to fuck them up. What you mean by that, Chris? Talking about Tupac, Dana? No, bro, I need without the sound, bro. I'm trying to find a sound for y'all. I might just goddamn wait. Cause I got the one when y'all be saying Thug Life. Damn. I might just say fuck it. I'm gonna wait.
Back and forth behind the scenes between rappers from the East Coast and from the West Coast. And Tupac had to explain himself cause everybody thought that he did it on purpose. He met Dre there too, and Dre was annoyed by how people from the East Coast treated them. So when he got back to LA, he recorded the intro to the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, in which he was more or less dissing the East Coast. He also gave Tupac's group Thug Life a shoutout, after that whole incident with A Tribe Called Quest. Death Row still wanted to sign him.
Yo, what's up? This is Dr. Dre. And before we get into this album, there's a few things I gotta say. Now, I just got a tape of the 1994 Source Music Awards. And for everybody that wasn't there or didn't hear about it, a lot of niggas from the East Coast was talking shit about where hip-hop started, who's running hip-hop and all this shit.
First of all, I'd like to thank and dedicate this to DJ Kool Herc for starting hip-hop, which a lot of motherfuckers out there and the rest of the other side of the world, wherever, don't know about. So I definitely want to dedicate that to him, African Bambaataa, and all the crews that started hip-hop.
Y'all in the mood and not giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening with all this East Coast, West Coast, you know what I'm saying? It's like this.
I want to see y'all
Fake y'all shit.
Cause I've been arguing with motherfuckers for 2 days about this shit, and I need to get this shit from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some music heads and stuff. I need to know. So they been saying, my coworkers and shit be saying, R. Kelly can out-sing KC and JoJo, or how y'all want to say, KC and JoJo or Jodeci, period. That R. Kelly can out-sing their ass. Do y'all think they're true? KC and JoJo versus R. Kelly. They saying R. Kelly can out-sing the motherfucker.
Dope, y'all. This is dope. Don't deny it. It's just like selling cocaine.
Check this out. If you ain't down with Death Row, the Dog Pound, Thug Life, the motherfucking Lynch Mob, the West Coast, my niggas down south, or anybody trying to keep hip-hop music alive.
Yo, motherfucker! Death Row! Yo, that Thug Life with the both of
I always
you.
ask why New York didn't like Tupac. They probably because of this shit right here. Cause he said fuck y'all and shit. Like he like, is he saying like fuck New York? Cause they said New York people mad cause all the West Coast were winning all the awards and shit, and Tupac came out there. Damn, maybe that's why. I'm saying R. Kelly, we about to fall the fuck out. Oh hell no.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Forever, my lady. You know what I'm saying? So y'all saying we got one for R. Kelly. So y'all saying R. Kelly? We got one for R. Kelly. I love Casey and JoJo. I love Jodeci too. Cause I am gonna do on this channel. I am gonna start my R&B soon. I might start it Sunday night. I might start my first R&B. I was gonna do Aaliyah and R. Kelly, Jay-Z connection. Somebody said, damn, I ain't never heard this shit. Roots is for life.
The intro got scratched from the soundtrack and Pac didn't get to hear it. Then in July '94, Pac got into a disagreement with Dre's homie Ice Cube, with whom he was working on an album together called Helter Skelter. Years after the two went their separate ways when NWA disbanded. I covered Pac's beef with Cube in my beef analysis video, which I recommend you checking out. It explains why Pac lost respect for all his idols from NWA. Cube sabotaged a song he was working on called Dear Mama in July '94, at a time when Pac didn't really know what to do with his third album. He wasn't sure which direction to take, after scrapping earlier versions of the album. He was evolving so fast as an artist that every album he worked on sounded different compared to the previous one. His music was a reflection of his life. and he went through many ups and downs in a very short amount of time. That's why every album follows a different theme. Thugstyle was supposed to be his third album. After scrapping and redoing the project, it sounded nothing like what he had originally envisioned for the follow-up of his sophomore album. His music became a lot more serious, and most of those old tracks didn't match the overall theme and sound of the new ones, with songs like Dear Mama, So Many Tears, Me Against the World, Lord Knows, and If I Die Tonight. They don't sound like anything from the Thugstyle album, so he couldn't use any of those songs, or else the album would be all over the place. His music became more poetic and meaningful. People like Dre and Snoop were part of the reason why Pac had to constantly reinvent himself, in order to not sound like a biter or an unoriginal copycat. He wanted to make sure that he dropped something fresh, original and unique, without the people from Death Row being able to copy it. So he made a personal and introspective album that revolves around the problems he's facing right now. He had a lot
Biggie, people from Death Row copying, Biggie and Diddy copying. God damn.
on his mind back then. The Ayanna Jackson assault case, gangsters like Haitian Jack threatening him, the problems he had with the police, him thinking that people will come to kill him. That's why his music became so serious. He changed the tracklist, the concepts, the themes, and even the name of the album, again and again, not knowing what to do. Cause it obviously had to be better than the one he scrapped. He went from Thugstyle to Thug for Life, to Street Fame, to Troublesome, to Stay True, to Are You Still Down, to Me Versus the World, and then finally to Me Against the World. Pac's style and sound was changing drastically, from the original Thugstyle album to the Me Against the World project. Cause this could have been his last album, depending on the outcome of the assault case. And Pac still had a lot of things that he wanted to say, at a time when he felt that the whole world was against him. In August '94, he then recorded the song Life's So Hard, thought of adding it to the Thug Life album, which was supposed to drop a month later. The beat was originally done by his best friend Big Stretch from the Life Squad, but then the people from Death Row once again got their hands on Pac's unreleased music, without him knowing. Snoop and the rapper Swoop G listened to the original version of the song Life's So Hard in Snoop's Chevy Suburban, and they loved it. According to Swoop G, they always studied Tupac's style to use it for their own music, and Pac really had a problem with that. Like mentioned earlier, Interscope always gave copies of Pac's unreleased music to the people from Death Row, without Pac knowing. Tupac actually started fights with the people from Interscope because of that, and they always told him that they didn't leak his music. So either they were lying, or Death Row had a spy at Interscope working for them. They then reached out to him again and convinced him to do a remix for the song Life's So Hard for the Murder Was a Case soundtrack.
Guess we're gonna get R. Kelly. But I am make sure y'all stay like, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do my first R&B hip hop commentary. I might do it Sunday night. I'm gonna do R. Kelly, background R. Kelly. Then I'm gonna do R. Kelly, Aaliyah, and Jay-Z connections with that.
And Dre was listed as the executive producer of that album. According to the rapper Swoop G, Pac was in the studio with Snoop and the Dog Pound when they made the remix for the song. They used the beat by Daz Dillinger from the Dog Pound, which in my opinion ruined the whole vibe of the song. It was all over the place, but they thought it was the right move, since the production was originally handled by East Coast rap artist Big Stretch. So the song had an East Coast vibe to it. They wanted to do it Death Row style, with a West Coast sound. The East-West rivalry was a thing even back then, and the people on Death Row wanted their music to sound different from rappers on the East Coast. They always had outstanding, unique and trend-setting production that was very influential for the artists on the West Coast. So they wanted to add a funky West Coast twist to Life's So Hard, but that song in particular was ruined in the process. They re-recorded the intro, outro and the verses. Snoop also added background vocals and ad-libs in the end. The song was originally supposed to be dark, sad, emotional, introspective, heartfelt and deep. but they tried to turn the song into a West Coast banger, with a funky beat and an aggressive vocal delivery, which didn't even fit the content of the lyrics and the theme of the song. It's like using the vocals for Brenda's Got a Baby over the beat for two of America's Most Wanted, rapping aggressively like on Hit 'Em Up. Tupac only did the remix because he needed the money. He probably knew that the remix is terrible. And the worst part is that Snoop and the Dogg Pound didn't speak up when they ruined the song, cause they actually loved the original version of it. They once again sabotaged him, even if they didn't mean to. That cheap Daz remix was so bad that they didn't even use it for the soundtrack. And they couldn't use it for the Thug Life album either, cause the soundtrack came out after the group album. It could have been one of Tupac's greatest songs. The original version is actually Idi Amin's favorite Pac song of all time. Idi is Tupac's brother-in-law and one of the members of Pac's group Dramacidal, which later became Outlaws. But Pac was still paid somewhere between $200,000 and $250,000 for that remix by Suge Knight himself, even though it was never used on the official soundtrack release. It was later added to the soundtrack for his posthumously released movie Gang Related in 1997, when they were trying to put out as much material as possible during a time when the rap world was craving for unreleased music by one of their deceased legends. But back in '94, everyone was shocked that Pac got that check. He wasn't even signed to Death Row at the time, and got that much money for just one song.
I'm just thinking about the 90s. Everything was cheap, food cheap. You know what I'm saying? You had chicken nuggets, hamburger shit, 99 cents. Yeah, damn. Lord have mercy. $20 was like a lot of money. $100 was a lot of money back then. Was $100 a lot of money back then? You had $100? Like, you buy a lot of shit with $100 back in the 90s. Yeah. $20 ain't shit now. You're like, God damn, bro. I'm gonna change it. You don't get no change, $2, $3 back. God damn.
It even surprised Snoop and the Dogg Pound, because according to Swoop G, they never got that much money while being on Death Row. That was Suge's way of showing Pac that he's appreciated, and that they really care about him. After the whole thing with the cancelled Thug Style album, and after all the shady things they did behind the scenes, with them listening to all his unreleased material for inspiration. Suge really loved Pac. They weren't even that close in the beginning.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Motherfucker didn't love Tupac. That nigga was using that nigga to goddamn get back at Diddy. Stop the cap one more time.
Stop the cap.
Stop the fucking cap. He ain't love no Pac. He ain't want to snitch on QVD. Motherfucker.
But the two had chemistry. They could tell that
said gas was 99 cents and 90. I know you fucking lying. You think I ain't gonna look this shit up? Crazy.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
You said 98?
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life nigga?
He said $1.11. Hey, it's 69 per guy. God damn. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Why we can't go back this time? You know what I'm saying? We gotta get Trump out of the office. We gotta get damn Trump. You say you was in college? How much was a goddamn? How much was a Happy Meal? How much was a Happy Meal? You know what I'm saying? Bitch, I ain't want to ask about the show and shit. I want to ask about the food. These motherfuckers bring up toys. about to load this shit up. $1.99. McDonald's burger and just big nasty taster. The fuck is that? A rival to the Whopper. Damn, suicide him up for $2. God damn. $3 and special promotes like 39-cent cheeseburgers on Wednesdays. What shit? Every Wednesday I be eating like a motherfucker, but I go goddamn, you know what I'm saying? I would've got me about 20 of them motherfuckers. Put them in your refrigerator. Shit, yeah. You said it had the dollar menu. Chat, we got them fat as hell right now. 2 sausage biscuits at McDonald's was $1. God damn. How much it is now? Y'all know? 2 sausage. I don't eat McDonald's. I ain't ate McDonald's in years. McDonald's is not. God damn, the 39 to 99 cents. Oh my fucking God, bro. I'm fucking mad. I grew up in the wrong damn time. Yes I did. Yes I did. Damn. Ooh.
That they're very similar and had respect for each other. Shook himself said that he saw himself in Pac, and that Pac is the rap version of himself. Pac was really thankful for the money. He was going broke because of the heavy spending and also because of the lawyer fees for the Ayanna Jackson assault case. Shook helped him out when no one else did. So he quickly forgot about them spying on him and messing up.
I didn't talk about goddamn cheeseburgers. Hey, boy. Somebody told me you leave one of them hamburgers out, and that motherfucker don't rot, bro. That shit just get hard, bro. Hell nah. I thought meat supposed to rot over time. Like, you just leave that shit out there, supposed to stink and shit. That motherfucker get hard, bro. I said, what the hell? I ain't do that. I forgot I had left a hamburger somewhere. I thought I had left it in the room somewhere, some shit. I forgot. I said, damn, that motherfucker got hard as hell. Hell nah. I said, that shit can't be real, bro. That's why I be picking what I eat today. I be like, man, I don't know, but is that real meat or is this clone meat? Yeah, we don't know. Shit.
His third album. Shook told him that he wants the group Thug Life on Death Row to compete against Bone Thugs and Harmony on Ruthless Records. Him and Shook really got along, but Pac wanted to put out his next 2 records on Interscope first and see where it goes. He felt like this whole back and forth with him trying to find a new label was a waste of time. He had the assault case to worry about and didn't want to push back his albums again. He didn't want to sign to a different label when he already recorded over 100 songs on Interscope that need to be put out. So Pac felt like he should stay on Interscope for a bit, so that he didn't waste his time there the past 2 years, with him coming up with one album concept after another and then never releasing any of it. The Thug Life album.
Fuck, we gonna get real on here today. My bad, y'all, for the people that just want to watch the video. I'm into shit like this. I look up shit like this. They say it come from general twins of livestock credit. Simmons sell, nigga. Oh shit. Pigs, goats. They say that's. Oh hell nah. How the fuck is y'all nigga? How the fuck do you clone that shit? You say donor cells DNA is inset to his in the egg cell which implants into a surgery to produce a general twin. Oh hell nah. Oh hell no, we got pictures and everything. Which one do you want? This one, the clone to the left. Hold on, Tupac. Get your ass from dancing over here. Let me put you over here. Say this one, not clone. Unknown. What you mean unknown? What I can't tell the difference. To be honest, how you know the difference? Oh shit. Then I probably go to the grocery store in the morning. Like I don't know what to get now. How you? It say health.
Don't forget that shit. Westside niggas
what the fuck? I think that's the one when you tell when you be boo-boo and shit. That shit make you shit like a motherfucker. You be like, damn, this shit goddamn fuck my damn stomach up. That gotta be clown, right? Like, I be thinking some Wendy's, like, I don't like Wendy's shit. I be like, bro, Wendy's, like, I don't know about that goddamn shit. I got dollars on me, it's crazy. I'm gonna have to do my damn research. Which one real meat? I might look this shit here. Now y'all don't got me into this shit. Got me all off topic. He said soda was 50 cents. Damn. We need to bring the candidators back. You know what I'm saying? I missed them. The candidator. Y'all know y'all had them candidator. You a real black person. You know you had a candidator back in the day. I used to love on her house. Pickles, chips.
Then came out on September 26, 1994. But it only had 10 songs on it. A lot of the tracks he recorded didn't make the cut due to Interscope having a problem with them. After that, on October 18th, the Murder Was the Case soundtrack came out, but without Life So Hard. On October 20th, they then invited him to the music video shoot for the song Natural Born Killers. The cameo was their way of showing Pac that he is an honorable member of the Death Row family. Cause they removed him from the soundtrack, even though they wanted to show the world that he's part of the.
This was my last time stopping. My last time stopping the video, y'all. We all off top of this shit. Hello, we gotta go. Hey, Wendy's, you watching this? Please don't get me for this. They'll try to get me for this. We start talking about damn food, crazy. No, we fat. Wendy food, I don't know about this shit. They kind of sus to me, I ain't gonna lie. Like this shit, they ain't no goddamn hamburger. What the hell is it? I don't know about Wendy food, y'all. I know you fucking lying. Ugh. Oh, hell nah.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
I'll sue the fuck out there. Some people like they meat like that, bro. I can't eat meat like pink in it got pink in it. I can't eat that shit, bro. I need my shit well done, bro. Cause I see pink in that motherfucker. I be thinking it's all blood in there and everything. I can't eat that shit pink, bro. I need my shit well done, twin. Hell no, I would never eat that again. See, they saying, oh, I ain't eating that Wendy's. There's a lot of, they showing a lot of pink stuff in here.
Thug life, dog. Don't forget that shit. Westside niggas is thug life, nigga.
I don't know about that. I fuck they chicken though. They chicken. I fuck they damn chicken up. Word. Let me go to the chicken. Wendy's chicken. We ain't talking about damn food and shit. What's that new one they had? That new one they came out with like a couple months ago. What, last year or something? Damn, that motherfucker good as hell. If I can find that shit. Yeah, I fuck they chicken though. Look, they chicken look like now. They look regular now. Hold on now, they got I know you got hot fries. When they got this? Look at this macaroni. Spicy new chunk across the counter. I'll get. Damn, they got hot fries. What look like some? Oh, that mustard. Oh, I don't know about no mustard on that motherfucker. Ugh. I was good with the hot fry, but y'all got mustard. I don't know about this shit. Let me get back to it. You talking about damn food. Let me get the fuck back. My bad, y'all.
The team. So they put him in the music video instead. The song was a collaboration between Dr. Dre and put out as much material as possible during a time when the rap world was craving for unreleased music by one of their deceased legends. But back in '94, everyone was shocked that Pac got that check. He wasn't even signed to Death Row at the time, and got that much money for just one song. It even surprised Snoop and the Dogg Pound, because according to Swoop G, they never got that much money while being on Death Row. That was Suge's way of showing Pac that he's appreciated, and that they really care about him. After the whole thing with the cancelled Thug Style album, and after all the shady things they did behind the scenes, with them listening to all his unreleased material for inspiration. Suge really loved Pac. They weren't even that close in the beginning, but the two had chemistry. They could tell that they're very similar, and had respect for each other. Suge himself said that he saw himself in Pac, and that Pac is the rap version of himself. Pac was really thankful for the money. He was going broke because of the heavy spending, and also because of the lawyer fees for the Ayanna Jackson assault case.
Hey, I'm starting to see a lot of people starting to get farms now. Starting to raise chickens and they own chickens and stuff. I don't see a couple celebrities do that shit now. I'm like, bro, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? No cost money to get them bitches, but like for real at this damn point, cause like, bro, I don't know what the fuck is we eating. Y'all don't got this shit on my mind. I can't even focus. Like, what the fuck do we be eating? Do we be eating real food? Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas is thug life, nigga. Like, that shit's on my mind, though. Said lies. Y'all don't got this shit on my mind. Nah, man, I ain't about to eat. I ain't. Fast food? Nah, I don't know about it. I might be a damn. I might go vegan. Fuck this shit. Ain't this damn point. Shit, but the goddamn vegetables fake too. God.
Suge helped him out when no one else did. So he quickly forgot about them spying on him and messing up his third album. Suge told him that he wants the group Thug Life on Death Row to compete against Bone Thugs and Harmony on Ruthless Records. Him and Suge really got along, but Pac wanted to put out his next two records on Interscope first and see where it goes. He felt like this whole back and forth with him trying to find a new label was a waste of time. He had the assault case to worry about and didn't want to push back his albums again. He didn't want to sign to a different label when he already recorded over 100 songs on Interscope that need to be put out. So Pac felt like he should stay on Interscope for a bit, so that he didn't waste his time there the past 2 years, with him coming up with one album concept after another and then never releasing any of it. The Thug Life album then came out on September 26, 1994. But it only had 10 songs on it. A lot of the tracks he recorded didn't make the cut due to Interscope having a problem with them. After that, on October 18th, the Murder Was the Case soundtrack came out, but without Life So Hard. On October 20th, they then invited him to the music video shoot for the song Natural Born Killers. The cameo was their way of showing Pac that he is an honorable member of the Death Row family, cause they removed him from the soundtrack even though they wanted to show the world that he's part of the team. So they put him in the music video instead. The song was a collaboration between Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, who were working on the album Helter Skelter together, which never came out. Like mentioned earlier, Pac wasn't really cool with Cube at the time. There was a little friction between them because of the song Dear Mama. Dr. Dre and Cube weren't really his friends. They were business partners at best, because neither Cube nor Dre cared about collaborating with him. On November 30th, 1994, he was shot at the Quad Studios in New York. I covered this in my video, The Reason Why Tupac Got Shot 5 Times. You should definitely check it out. On February 7th, 1995,
Can you say for Everglades because that's the only way he got out of jail, right?
Tupac was then sentenced to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison on abuse charges. His third studio album, Me Against the World, was then released a month later on March 14th, 1995. The album went platinum in just a month. So that was Pac's side of the story. All the way up until he got incarcerated. In order to understand both sides and to find out why Dre ended up leaving Death Row shortly after Pac got signed to the label, we have to take a look at what happened behind the scenes between Dr. Dre and his partner Suge Knight. Dre was serving a 5-month jail sentence between 94 and 95 for drunken driving and probation violation. On January 27, 1991, he had physically assaulted MTV personality D. Barnes, and 7 months later, in August 91, he was placed on 2 years probation. Then in June 93, he pleaded no contest to battery charges stemming from an attack on a Woodland Hills man, who claimed that Dr. Dre broke his jaw. He was given a 90-day jail sentence. On January 10, 1994, he was then arrested again after a high-speed chase through Beverly Hills in his 1987 white Ferrari for driving with twice the legal limit in California. The case for drunken driving marked Dre's third conviction on a misdemeanor offense since 1991, and was also in violation of...
I don't be understanding these motherfuckers. They be getting all their money. Then y'all be going doing drugs and all type of shit. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Hello. Like, you supposed to get the money and sit your ass down. Look, that's why they see I couldn't be famous. I be like, shit, nobody, you wouldn't know shit about me. Go buy some land. You know what I'm saying? Sit my ass down. I ain't going out on that part of this shit. Fuck that. I'm going to get my money, buy me some land, build my house. I'm cool. These niggas get money, they be fucking up like a motherfucker. I don't be know what wrong with them.
Of his probation from a 1993 battery conviction. He violated the condition of his parole and was sentenced to 5 months in prison on August 30th, 1994. Dre had a huge drinking problem around that time, which also ruined his relationship with his fiancée Michelle A., who was a singer signed to Death Row Records. The two had been dating since 1988, since the NWA days, and had a 4-year-old son called Marcel. He was Michelle A.'s first and Dr. Dre's 6th child. They had tons of ups and downs during their relationship, since both of them had to deal with addiction. Their relationship became more strained due to Dre's drinking problem, infidelity, and volatile behavior. He would always cheat on her with groupies and girls he met at parties. Michelle A. has stated that Dre was physically abusive throughout their relationship. Her injuries include...
Yeah, I don't respect no man. You hit a woman, bro. I don't respect no man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't respect men like that. So, you know, I don't like Dr. Dre, bro. He just... something wrong with that motherfucker. Be cheating on it and you hitting on it. God damn. Sometimes you walk away. Women gonna make you mad, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta walk away. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, walk away. Walk away, man. I heard. I heard it. Hello. I heard.
A broken nose, which she had to have surgically corrected, a cracked rib.
I don't know who worse, her or Biggie wife. I don't know who worse. Yeah, I can't think of her name. Damn, what her name is? I mean Faith. I don't know, Michelle or Faith. Them motherfuckers didn't give a damn. Like for real.
And 5 black eyes.
How you doing?
There was even an argument where Dre shot at Michelle A., missing her by inches. She left the bullet in the door for him to see. And according to her, Dre never tried to shoot at her again. But the beatings continued and she began to self-medicate with pills and alcohol. Suge then tried to help her when Dre had left Michelle A. and the baby for weeks without money or a car to go get food. And Suge took over for him, got real close with her, took care of the child, gave Michelle A. money, bought her and the kid groceries and things they needed to survive. Fixed a lot of her problems, like for example bills that Dre forgot to pay, because of which Michelle A. and her son were trapped in the mansion with no electricity, lights and ways to cook food, all while Dre was away. Before he got locked up, he was out partying with other girls. Michelle later understood that these girls could have been sent by Suge to Dre in order to manipulate her, making it seem like Suge is the white knight and Dre is just a scumbag who would rather spend his time with girls than with his child and fiancé.
Now Dre doing, Suge doing that to Dre. What do you think he'll do to Tupac? You know what I'm saying? And they business partner. Like, y'all said Dre been beating women. Why the fuck they be beating women? Why y'all? What's wrong with them? They insecure? You insecure? What you insecure about? Shit, you get money. You know what I'm saying? Top the producer. Like, what you gotta beat women for? I don't understand niggas, but fuck this shit. I ain't about to do this shit. Lock him up. You know what I'm saying? He guilty as charged.
Suge was trying to sleep with her, even though she was Dre's fiancée, and Dre was Suge's partner. They both co-owned the company. Michelle, for example, needed groceries and diapers for the kid, which Suge always bought for her. He used Dre's irresponsibilities to his advantage to get closer to Michelle. At Michelle's shows, Dre was hugging and kissing other girls in front of her. Suge then tried to gain sympathy points by throwing the girls out, as a way to show Michelle that unlike Dre, he cares for her, while Dre tries to use every opportunity to cheat.
You say you got stories, and we like to be a little messy around here. Hello.
This nigga's scared.
We like to be a little
Suge
messy.
would buy her jewelry and presents every Christmas, and also on her birthdays, even though he was married to a woman named Sharitha. Every time Michelle told Suge, "I don't know where Dre is," Suge would respond, "Well, I do," telling her that he's spending time with other girls. Back then she thought Suge was just trying to be a good friend for both, trying to keep both sides happy. But after 20 years she came to the conclusion that he was just trying to manipulate her. Her and Suge had an affair and a secret relationship between 94 and 95. They slept together behind Dre's back, while he was outside partying, working on music, or spending time in jail. Michelle told Dre nothing about it, and still wanted to get married to him. Before going to jail, Dre's best friend and assistant Bruce Williams had hooked him up with a woman called Nicole, who Dre met at a nightclub. Dre wasn't out looking for love or for the right person that night. He just saw her and asked her for a number, with a cocky look on his face. Nicole said no, but Dre pursued and wanted to get to know her. With the help of his best friend Bruce Williams, he was able to send her romantic letters, and Nicole was later convinced to give him a chance. At the time, she was actually married to the basketball player.
You seen romantic letters. That shit used to work back in the day. You can't do that shit now. Hell nah. They gonna clown the fuck out you. Nigga send me some letters.
What type niggas a third like nigga?
But that nigga, that real poo shot right there. That motherfucker should. He ain't give a fuck, bro. That nigga had Diddy baby mama, Dre baby mama, Kiwi D baby mama. Like, god damn, bro. Shit. Then he had, wait, who else he had? Mary, J. Blige. Like, god damn, bro.
Severe threat, but she was unhappy in her marriage and cheated on him. According to Dre, him and Nicole started dating shortly before he turned himself in because of the probation violation.
So everybody married, they cheating on each other. I'm scared to get married.
Thug like, dog, forget that shit. What type niggas a thug like nigga?
Said they share their women. I ain't sharing no goddamn women. Fuck that shit. You crazy. You mine, you mine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sharing your ass. Hell nah.
Which got him 5 months in jail. Nicole's family didn't really like Dre and thought he was a troublemaker. But Nicole wanted to be with him instead of her husband, and even visited Dre in jail, while Dre's fiancée was cheating on him with his partner Suge Knight. They both co-owned Death Row. In jail, Dre thought about all the people that were around him, who he could trust and who really cared for him. Nicole and his best friend Bruce Williams, who will both play a huge role later on in the story, were always there for him. But neither Snoop nor the Dog Pound paid him a visit for 5 months straight, until he came out in 1995. In jail, he also heard that his old friend and rival Eazy-E was dying of AIDS and lying in the hospital. So he went there and paid him a visit. There he also...
Do y'all think he got this shit like naturally? Did Eazy get a match on y'all think Suge Knight put a needle in him and gave him that shit? I be hearing that shit like, do y'all think Eazy got this shit naturally by sleeping with women, or did Suge Knight use it like a needle or something and inject Eazy with it? They have baby mamas together. I about to straight me the fuck out. I mean, like this cigarette. I can't do that. I don't say I do that shit. Hell nah. I ain't got no kids, so I'm like, bro, fuck that. If I had one baby mom, I'm gonna have one baby mom. You gonna have you gonna leave me? Crazy. Shit, fuck that.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Westside niggas a thug life, nigga.
What you mean you just stumbled on? You talking about no? Why you say no?
also met Ice Cube, who didn't visit him in jail either. While Dre was locked up in 95, Michelle A's problems with alcohol really got out of control. They always had to keep an eye on her as if she's a problematic teenager. She fell in love with the singer Montel Jordan and tried to get physical with him at a party, around the time when his platinum single This Is How We Do It came out. The Death Row head of security, Reggie Wright, who was keeping an eye on her, noticed what she was doing and reported it to Suge. She later did the same thing to Tupac, touching his belly, rubbing his arms and head, hugging him, and a lot of people on Death Row thought that she was trying to seduce them.
I ain't gonna lie. She might be worse than Faith, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
I don't know. She might be worse than Faith, boy. Between her and Faith, I don't know, boy. Them motherfuckers were tag team partners at their damn point. Sheesh. Kid Frost.
But they kept quiet, thinking that it would come to a fight between Dre and Suge, which could lead to the dissolvement of the label. Reggie told Suge she was trying to holler at Montel Jordan, and Suge said, "What? Really?" Suge was worried because he cared for her. The next day he asked Reggie again. He was a little jealous. "Hey Reg, what you tell me about Michelle A and Montel Jordan?" Michelle A then begged Reggie to not tell him. Suge then tried to get closer and closer to her. Dre didn't find out until the beginning of '96. Until then the relationship continued. But Dre also had other things to worry about. Between '93 and '95, Dre not only had to deal with all the legal problems, his alcohol addiction and the issues with his label, which mostly revolved around Suge and his gang, the Ma Piru, terrorizing the industry and creating a frightening environment for all the artists on the label, so that everyone is too scared to come to work, in fear that they might get harmed. But Dre also had hit a dead end with his career, since none of the projects he was working on materialized, during a time when everybody expected him to drop the next game-changing album, a sequel to The Chronic, or an NWA reunion. There were rumors that Death Row was running out of money, because of all the heavy spending, mostly on Suge's part. So they needed the next big hit to get back on their feet. A lot of artists weren't getting paid what they were supposed to, and the label was only able to release 2 albums since 1992, which wasn't enough to generate enough money for the label to survive. And because of the Eazy-E beef, people were losing faith in him, saying that he fell off, that he's not a gangster like he claims he is, and that he can't drop another album on the level of The Chronic, with a song that's as dope as Nothing But a G Thing. He couldn't deal with the pressure, which is why it took him so long to drop his second album, a project that's worth being in the same conversation as The Chronic and Doggy Style. He was working on his second solo album, and also his collab album with Ice Cube, which got cancelled.
NYK, appreciate you subscribing to the channel.
Another one. Another one.
Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
Cancelled after he went to jail. Some people said that his creativity was at an all-time low, that he wasn't the same musical genius that he was when he made the 2 NWA albums, The Chronic and Doggy Style. He would let his co-producers do most of the work and would take credit for work that other people did, beats made by lesser-known producers. He would take full credit for them. And from a rapping perspective, his most loyal ghostwriter, the DOC, decided to leave the label and diss Dre for not getting paid what he was supposed to get. Him and Dre always felt uncomfortable when going to the studio because of all the Ma Piru members that Suge brought there. The DOC would always carry a gun with him when going to the studio. He always felt unsafe and had to be ready at all times. Just like Dre. He wasn't a gangster. The DOC even said that doing jail time was easier than doing studio time at Death Row. So it makes sense why Dre himself didn't want to work there anymore. But the DOC was also mad at Dre for not getting paid for his work. He had been writing lyrics for him since the late 80s. Would always risk his life by working in a dangerous environment that he didn't feel comfortable in, just to get exploited and threatened. So in late 94, the DOC took the lyrics and concepts from Dre and Cube's unreleased album Helter Skelter and left the label. Dre was left with basically nothing. And the DOC, who was trying to make a comeback following a car crash which severely damaged his vocal cords, decided to work on his own Helter Skelter album, keeping the name just to spite Dre, who always relied on other people to make hit records. Snoop and the Dogg Pound wanted to put out their own records without Dre's involvement, like the upcoming Dogg Pound album Dog Food and Snoop's sophomore album The Dogfather. Snoop and the Dogg Pound didn't visit Dr. Dre while he was in jail, and after he came out they weren't too close. Dre had already found a new team and didn't really need them. He had people like Jay Flex and Sam Snead. Jay Flex wrote Dre's verses on Keep Their Heads Ringing, Natural Born Killers and also on California Love. Keep Their Heads Ringing and Natural Born Killers were also co-produced by Sam Snead. And they were supposed to work on Dre's next solo album. Snoop and the Dogg Pound weren't supposed to be on it. Dre kept distancing himself from the label and also from its artists. In summer 95, while Tupac was still in prison, Suge finally convinced him to join the label. But for that, they had to bail him out first. Suge first announced his plans of bringing Tupac to Death Row on August 3rd during the 95 Source Awards, and then negotiated a deal with him while he was in prison. Part of the 3-album contract was that Dre would take care of the production on all those projects, and Pac was really looking forward to working with him. Part of the reason why he joined was because of Dre's production. But Death Row was also the only label that offered to bail him out. Suge had more or less taken over Dre's role as the talent scout for the label. He would start signing people without Dre knowing about it. I mean, the two were co-owning the company. And with Dre's alcohol problem, him going to jail and being on house arrest, Suge more or less had to take over for him. The show must go on. They couldn't just stop running the company. But Dre felt some type of way about it, since he was losing importance within the label in all fields. On a business level, his role as a talent scout, a manager, him being the executive producer of every album, being in the studio with all the artists to make sure that the music is on point and to give feedback, and also on a music level, since he wasn't producing as much as he used to. Suge wanted to be the executive producer now of every album, and Daz Dillinger more or less became the main producer of Death Row, since Dre refused to come to Can-Am Studios. Daz and Suge were doing his work, so the label was already a mess. And now the hothead Pac comes in expecting to work with Dre. Some say that Dre didn't really care about Tupac getting bailed out and signed to Death Row, while others say that he wasn't happy about it as the label was already out of control, fearing that Pac is the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak. Cause he was not only a troublemaker and a hothead, but also had tons of cases and problems with the police, on top of everyone.
It's that girl fault too. Ayanna Jackson, her lying ass. Her fault too. She ain't do that shit.
else's legal issues like Snoop's, for example, who still had to deal with the murder case. Dre himself was under house arrest because of the probation violation. He was afraid that Death Row would slowly start to fall apart due to the heavy gang presence, the security getting replaced with gang members and troublemakers, court cases mounting up, the heavy spending to maintain a lavish and luxurious lifestyle with parties every week, artists being too lazy to put out music so that the label can generate income to actually balance the expenses, and overall it just felt like the people weren't getting paid what they were supposed to. Shook was giving rappers pocket money and luxury cars, which were still property of Death Row Records, instead of giving them the millions of dollars they've made for the label. According to the singer Jewel, Shook was paying random women who agreed to sleep with him in exchange for him making them famous more money than the artists on the label. According to her, that's where most of the money went. In the beginning, Dre was the superstar of the group. Snoop and the Dog Pound were nobodies, and everything revolved around him. Everyone had to follow his orders, work on his album, contribute to it without getting credit, in hope that Dre turns them into superstars. But now they were all stars themselves, and were making music.
He did get R in jail though, but I think I did live like I forgot I did like probably like a month ago of his Tupac cellmate on my previous live. It's called Tupac Cellmates Tells what happened to him in prison. They said it was a lady security guard who told the lie because she was mad. She kept fucking with Tupac in jail and shit, and spreading rumors that he got R in jail. He said Snoop Dogg is corny. I already met him. He corny in real life. Every time I see Snoop Dogg, he always dancing and smiling all the damn time. Y'all we doing this shit. Everything he in. This.
Without his involvement. Shook was also able to run the company without him, which gave him the ability to do what he wants. The label was split into 3 groups. The Mob Piru faction, meaning Suge Knight, the security, Shook's homies, and later on Tupac. Then the second group, which were the Crips, meaning Snoop Dogg, the Dog Pound, Nate Dogg, and all their homies. And then the third group, which consisted of those who didn't want to pick a side or get involved with gangs, which was Dre's team basically. Him, the DOC, who had already left the label, Jay Flex, who was his ghostwriter, and his co-producer Sam Snead. The Bloods and the Crips, of course, weren't best friends, and didn't hang out as much together as with the members of their own gang. And there was also put a lot of pressure on the third group, those who didn't want to join neither the Bloods or the Crips. They became outsiders and felt uncomfortable around them, especially around Shook's homeboys. The majority of people on Death Row were Mob Piru members. Jay Flex and Sam Snead aren't even from Cali, so it was like a culture shock to them. Just like for the DOC, who's originally from Texas. The Bloods on the label knew that Dre's team was not from the West. Due to the East-West feud, they kept an eye on Dre's homies. They treated them like outsiders, didn't trust them, even though all they wanted to do was make music. After Shook's infamous speech at the '95 Source Awards, which reignited the East-West hip-hop conflicts, the artists on both labels, Suge Knight's Death Row Records and Puff Daddy's Bad Boy Entertainment, got dragged into a bloody war where several people lost their lives. On September 23rd, 1995, Shook's friend and fellow Mob Piru member Big Jake, who was his security at the time, was shot and killed allegedly by Puffy's bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones. And because of that, the Bloods on Death Row wanted to go to war with him. I covered this in my documentary for the Tupac shooting in Las Vegas. Make sure to check it out. It's called The Reason Why Puff Daddy Killed Tupac. So Death Row and Bad Boy were now beefing. But not everyone wanted to get involved, like Dre and his team for example. They thought it would be bad for business, and overall thought that it was pointless. Shook's homies, however, who were all Mob Piru members and made up the majority on Death Row, wanted retaliation. The Crips didn't want to get involved at first, but they got dragged into it later on. Dre knew that Tupac had a problem with a lot of the people on the East Coast, especially with Puffy and Bad Boy. He also knew that he was a hothead, and that it would escalate even further with him joining the label. He thought the last thing that the label needs at the time is a guy that does the exact opposite of de-escalating a problem. That really bothered him, since Death Row was his baby.
My thing is, Dr. Dre, you shooting at women, you beating women. Shit, you laugh here to talk about that shit. You on house arrest. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand these niggas. Like, you worry about Tupac. Your ass, what you doing? Cheating on your wife, beating on her, driving crazy, house arrest.
He didn't want to abandon it or jump ship, so to speak. He wanted to save it and get it back on the right track by focusing on business instead of beef. There was already enough pressure on them, with them having to deliver artistically, meaning to drop better music than the artists on the East Coast in order to silence the haters and those who have super high expectations. They also wanted to keep Suge Knight and everybody on the West Coast happy, at a time when artists and fans on both coasts were picking sides and seeing the opposite coast as their enemy, or when people were getting death threats or losing their lives because of the feud between Death Row and Bad Boy. Dre just wanted to focus on the music, without beefing with anybody. He didn't want to be a part of the war, actually wanted to collaborate with rappers on the East Coast. He saw Big Jake's death not as a reason to retaliate, but as an eye-opener, and as proof that they shouldn't go this route. Keep the gunplay and violence to a minimum, and mainly focus on business, to stay peaceful or at least neutral. But it was beyond his control, even though he was technically the co-owner of the company. The Bloods on Death Row would also try to intimidate Dre's team, constantly asking them which side they were on, and treating them like outsiders. It would get worse day by day, and in the end it also got physical once Tupac joined the team. On October 12, 1995, Pac was released from the Clinton Correctional Facility in New York after being bailed out for $1.4 million and signed to Death Row Records. According to Tupac's chief engineer Tommy D, Dre was not happy with Tupac coming to Death Row, and he didn't want to do songs with him. He had already cancelled his plans of working on Nate Dogg's album and wanted to focus on his own career.
You said Big and Pac, homeboy Stretch will not. Shit, him and Stretch fell the fuck out. Stretch was doing some shady shit. Stretch trying to sleep with Tupac, jail girlfriend. Then he went to go. Then he didn't visit Tupac, while he was in jail. He was out there partying with Bad Boy. Maybe they would be. I mean, you can say the same thing about when Biggie, Tupac dissed on Biggie though, in my opinion. Cause Biggie couldn't come out with nothing else. They hit him up with too much for him. He dissed Pac after he died though. But I understand where you come from though. But I want to know what everybody's saying. Y'all got no Vaseline or hit him up? Who y'all going with, Pac or Ice Cube? Best diss on all time. I'm gonna slide Eazy in there too. Eazy too. When he did Dr. Dre, I'm gonna slide them three. Which one y'all go? Y'all can pick one. I'm going with Tupac. Hit him up. Y'all know.
The day Pac came out of prison and joined Death Row, Tommy D went to Dre's house where he supposedly witnessed Dre's reaction to Tupac joining the family. They told Dre, "Tupac's here. He got out of prison and went to the studio." To which Dre supposedly responded, "That's it. Now that Tupac's here, I gotta get out of here." But Dre didn't tell anyone about it. From the outside, it actually seemed like he was happy that Pac was on the team. But according to Tommy D, that wasn't the case. And he most likely told Pac later on about Dre's comments. It's unclear if Dre really said those things, and if he really felt like leaving the label because of Pac, who was actually excited to meet him and had to get a lot of his chest after spending so much time in prison. He was looking forward to working with them, thought that Dre would be in the studio with him every day and make beats for him. He recorded his 4th album, All Eyes on Me, in just a couple of weeks, shortly after getting released from prison. Dre and Pac saw each other less than 10 times after he came out of prison. In the month he came out, he didn't see him at all. I mean, he was almost done recording his double album by the end of October. Recorded tons of bangers with other producers, and Dre was nowhere to be found. The 3-album contract Tupac signed said that Dre would handle the production. But he didn't come to the studio for the All Eyes on Me recording sessions like all the other producers did. So by the end of October, Pac complained about him and asked Suge where he is and how he can reach him, reminding him about the deal and the agreement that Dre would produce his album. Pac actually had to get permission to drive to Dre's house in order to meet him, cause of course he wouldn't just let anybody come to his house. It was a gated community and Dre had his own studio there. The reason why Dre rarely left his mansion was because he was on house arrest. Like mentioned earlier, he had violated his probation after driving recklessly while racing down Sunset with the cops chasing him. After spending time in jail, he was put on house arrest and couldn't leave whenever he wanted. So this might have been one of the reasons why he didn't visit Pac in the studio. But he did get permission to leave his house when shooting the music videos for California Love. So I'm pretty sure it would have been possible if he really wanted to. But Suge understood why Dre couldn't come, so he called him and asked him if it's fine for Tupac to pay him a visit, so that they can record some songs together at Dre's house where he has his own studio. The first studio session with Dre took place on November 2nd. They recorded the song Can't See Me together. Pac came in and saw Dre in the studio with the beat playing in the background. He could hear George Clinton's vocals coming out of the speakers. Dre then turned down the volume and asked Pac if he can write lyrics to it.
He turned the music down and go, can you write to this? I said, right. Security, can I write to this? Is you crazy? And I'm in there doing my thing and I had to do it. I was in the booth. He's like, are you ready? Do your vocals. I had to stop and go, Dre, you do not know how long I waited to get in this booth. And I have Dre out there going, you ready? Are you ready? Know what I mean? Yeah. I waited all my life for that, so straight out of Compton.
So Pac wrote 3 verses in just a couple of minutes. And Dre was surprised how dope the song turned out, because they had tried to use the beat for other projects before, and none of those versions were good enough to be released. Dre would usually give artists a tape with the beat so that they can listen to it at home and come up with lyrics. But Pac didn't need preparation and did a phenomenal job vocally. After 2 years, Dre finally managed to turn the beat into a hit, cause he didn't know what to do with it, as it was laying around since they made Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style in '93. The beat is very similar to Dre Day and Snoop Dogg's What's My Name. It just has a different tempo, but uses the same sample.
Mr. Buster, where the f you at? Can't scrap a lick, so I know you got your gap.
From the depths of the sea, back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg,
Give me my money in stacks and lace my shit with non-figures. Real chicken ringers on nickel-plated non-triggers.
It didn't make sense.
Damn, I ain't realized that.
Did a phenomenal job vocally. After 2 years, Dre finally managed to turn the beat into a hit, cause he didn't know what to do with it, as it was laying around since they made Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style in '93. The beat is very similar to Dre Day and Snoop Dogg's What's My Name. It just has a different tempo, but uses the same sample.
Mr. Buster, where the f you at? Can't scrap a lick, so I know you got your gap.
Alright, hold on. Now we gotta go on Snoop Dogg.
From the depths of the sea, back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg,
Give me my money in stacks and lace my shit with non-figures. Real chicken ringers on nickel-plated non-triggers.
It didn't make
sense. Which one hard? Which one? Number Dre, Snoop Dogg, or Tupac? I like Tupac good though. I ain't gonna lie.
Sense to add the song to the Doggy Style album, since What's My Name has a very similar beat. So he decided to use it for the Helter Skelter album with Ice Cube. But it didn't really fit the overall theme of the album. Helter Skelter was supposed to sound dark and hardcore. Can't See Me is a funky party track, similar to Snoop's Gin and Juice and Who Am I? After the collab album with Cube was cancelled, he thought of giving the song to the Dog Pound, since the Dog Pound had a similar style as Snoop.
It takes two to get busy when the party's packed. So many girls on the wall, in front to back.
Dre originally had planned to put the song on the album Dog Food, which had already came out at that point. They named the song Can't See Me with the letter C instead of the word C, because Daz and Corrupt are Crips. But they cancelled it even though they had already recorded verses for it. Dre was cut off the Dog Pound's Dog Food album and had little to no involvement in it, as he was serving a 5-month jail sentence for drunken driving and probation violation. And after that, he was put on house arrest. He couldn't be there for the Dog Pound when they made their album. And even if he could, he wasn't really working with them as much as he used to. Snoop and the Dog Pound didn't pay him a visit while he was in jail, and wanted to make music without him. So Dre had no clue what to do with the beat and just gave it to Tupac. But he allegedly told him that he made the beat specifically for him. Pac supposedly didn't know that it's a recycled song. So when he played it in front of the Dog Pound, they were confused and told him that it was one of their songs. In the intro, you can hear George Clinton saying, "They will never see the P." Dre kept that part for Pac's version of the song. The P was a double entendre and stood for P-Funk and also for Pound, as it was a song for the Dog Pound. They kept the intro since P could also stand for Pac, who was way more versatile than Dre. He could rap over all types of beats. He had mastered hundreds of styles, including the one of the Dog Pound. So it was very easy for him to jump on a Snoop Dogg/Dog Pound type beat and do it better than all of them, in just a couple of minutes without preparation. Pac and Dre supposedly made another song called Blunt Time, which is still unreleased to this day. Dre later gave that beat to the rapper RBX and put the song on the Aftermath album a whole year later. Pac knew that he probably can't come back to Dre's house to record more music. So before leaving the studio, he asked him if he has any more beats for the album. Dre just gave him Daz Dillinger's
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
It just matter. That's why I like Tupac over anybody. I relate to Tupac shit like more than like Biggie shit like wordplay. He got good wordplay, but I can't relate to him like on some real shit. If that makes sense to y'all, but Tupac shit I can relate to that shit. Feel me? That shit Tupac shit to my soul. You be like, God damn. Ever since Dear Mama, my first Tupac song was Dear Mama. It got had me crying. Had me crying. Ain't lie. Ever since, that been my dog. You know what I'm saying?
song got my mind made up, pretending that he made the song himself, instead of just giving him one of his own beats. Yo, I got a song with Method Man and Redman. Told him that it's fine for him to have it. He was a fan of Method Man and Redman, and the song itself is top tier. So Pac was of course thankful. He took the tapes with him and wanted to add his verse to Got My Mind Made Up later. The following day, November 3rd, Suge Knight got in touch with Dre, asking him how it went, and if they were able to make some bangers together. He also asked him about the song California Love, which Dre was thinking of putting out as a solo record. Dre had already the beats and 2 verses ready, which were written by ghostwriter Jay Flex. He wasn't fully happy with the version he had. He wanted the song to be a comeback single for his next album.
Alright, y'all, I'm gonna stop streaming right here. I don't got fucking tired as fuck. But y'all wanna go see this? You see this by yourself? It's on Hip Hop Universe, Tupac versus Dr. Dre. I hope y'all enjoy the stream.
Another one.
Thank y'all for the 20K so far.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
You people subscribe to the channel. I hope y'all come in with today Saturday. I hope y'all come into my next stream. It's gonna be I keep forgetting Diddy and Mace said how Diddy and Mace set Biggie up. I think it was like 30 million for 30 million. Gene Deal, the ex security guard for Puffy said this shit. So they got like an hour. I think like an hour discussing this shit. So we gonna tune in into that. Did they set Biggie up? Then we gonna check out everything how Diddy then pay for the funeral for Biggie and shit, things of that nature. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned to my posts. I will be posting about it. I will have a thumbnail up